Good day, good day. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm well. I'm well. I can't complain. I cannot complain. All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to the living Alahym in the name of Yahushua today. They pick us up in John chapter 5 and verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and there they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Alahym in you. I come by Abba's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Alahym only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? Well, hallelujah for Yahushua. Let's get to Genesis 1 and 27. On rolling and out the door. Shalom, man. And so Alahym created man in his image. In the image of Alahym created he him. Male and female created he them. Now, I ran across something this morning. And we're going to go ahead and rock that on out. So, Civic, it's time for you to earn your keep. You know what I'm talking about? I need you to go to Ecclesiastes Chapter 1 and verse 1. Don't let him talk to you, boy. Come on now.
Ecclesiastes 1.
That's what I said.
The words of the preacher, the son of David, king of Jerusalem.
Come on, I say it like you mean.
Vanity of vanities, say the preacher, vanity of vanities.
Paul, now, y'all remember what a preacher is, right? You know what a preacher is, Doris? I just told you yesterday.
What profit have a
Hold
man?
on, that nigga ain't answer that question. Don't try to skate back to that old lady. That nigga did not answer that question. I just told you this yesterday. No. No. Come on, little James. Go on, let him know what a preacher is. He done looked it up. That nigga ain't right. That nigga fired.
Speaker of sense.
He don't speak no sense. Come on, little James. Come on, you looking it up.
Yeah, it ain't giving me what I need though.
Oh no, not by definition, T. It's got a specific definition. Coalesce. You forgot that already, Doris? Yeah, coalesce is an arranger of sentences. So how do you arrange sentences? Shalom, man. How do you arrange sentences? Come on now. Y'all don't know how to arrange sentences? Oh no. We don't want to take that route. That's the Hebrew route.
Everything in the New Testament, we got it verified in the law and the prophets.
I ain't gonna lie. We read it last night. How you arrange sentences. They done forgot already. So that means we got to go back to 1 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. Come on, son, with haste. Before you do that, come to Ecclesiastes 12 and 10, 12 and 9. Let me do that first. Ecclesiastes 12 and 9. Little Bible study. What's up? You good? Come on now, Ecclesiastes 12 and 9.
And moreover, the preacher was wise.
Moreover, the preacher was what?
Was wise.
Mm-hmm.
He still taught the people knowledge.
That's right.
He gave good heed and sought out. Set in order many proverbs.
He did what?
Set in order many proverbs.
Now give him definition of set in order.
Sakan, that is to equalize, make straight, become straight. To arrange in order.
To arrange in order. Well, let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Let's see how you arrange them in order.
For what man know the things of a man, save the ruach of man which is in him?
That's
Even
right.
so, the things of Alahym know no man, but the Ruach of Alahym.
That's right.
Now we have received not the Ruach of the world, but the Ruach which is of Alahym,
That's right.
that we might know the things that are freely given to us of Alahym. Which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teach, but which the Ruach HaKadosh teach.
Doing what?
Spiritual things with spiritual.
So you have to compare the word with the word. Hold on. There's another thing we read last night. Let's go. Isaiah 34:16. Let's move with haste.
Seek you out of the book of Yahuwah and read.
Do what?
Read.
Okay.
None of these shall fail.
None of them what?
Fail.
And everyone gonna have his what?
None shall want her mate for my
Want
mouth.
her what?
Commanded. Her mate.
Give them a mate by definition. Hey, motherfucker.
That is female companion, mate, neighbor, woman.
So what does that mean? Everyone gonna have a companion. See how you gonna compare spiritual things with spiritual, because everyone is gonna have his companion. Now come back to Ecclesiastes 1:1. They bothering that baby. Who did it to that baby? Who did it to Mother Neil? They did. You did. Who did? You did. Yeah, you did it. All right, Ecclesiastes 1:1.
The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Vanity of vanities, said the preacher. Vanity of vanities. All is vanity.
Look at verse 3.
What profit have a man of all his labor, which he take under the sun?
Pause. Look at the word profit and give it by definition.
Your throne, advantage, profit, excellency.
So what manner of excellency or what advantage have a man got of all his labor under the sun? What is the advantage that he has received? Well, let's take a look at something in the law to see why he would make this statement. Genesis chapter 3, verse 17. Genesis chapter 3, verse 17.
And unto Adam he said, because you have hearkened unto the voice of your wife,
Because you have hearkened to the voice of your wife,
and have eaten of the tree of which I commanded you, saying, you shall not eat of it.
and you did what I told you not to do.
Cursed is the ground for your sake.
Cursed is the what?
The ground for your sake.
What else?
And sorrow shall you eat of it all the days of your life.
All the days of your life.
Thorns and thistles shall it bring forth to you.
Mm-hmm.
You shall eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of your face shall you eat bread, till you return unto the ground. For out of it was you taken, for dust you are, and unto dust shall you return.
You see why he say that that's vanity? Because out of all that labor, guess what's going to come to you? Nothing but death. Now come on back over here to Ecclesiastes chapter 1. We in verse 3.
What profit have a man of all his labor which he take under the sun?
Mm-hmm.
Generation pass away, generation come, but the earth abide forever.
Now what does that mean? No matter what period of time come, the word of Alahym abide forever. See, let's get another spot for that on general principle. 1 John chapter 2, verse 15. We don't really want verses 15 and 16. We want 17. But let verse 15 run. 1 John chapter 2, verse 15.
Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
It ain't in it.
For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world.
But it's of the
And the
world.
world pass away, and the lust thereof. But he that do the will of Alahym abide forever.
He that do the what?
The will of Alahym
Abide for what?
ever.
Continue.
Little children, it is the last time, and as you have heard that Antichrist shall come,
Mm-hmm.
even now are there many Antichrists, whereby we know that it is the last time.
It's the last time.
They went out from us, but they were not of us. If they had been of us, they would no doubt
Remember
have
that go
continued
back to
us.
what we looked at last night? They turned aside. Keep going.
But that they might be made manifest that they were not all of us. But you have an unction from the Kadash one, and you know all things.
Mm-hmm.
I have not written unto you because you know not the truth, but because you know it, and that no lie is of the truth.
No
Who's
lie.
a liar but he that is not Yahushua the Mashiach?
Mm.
He is anti-Mashiach that deny the Father and the Son.
That's right.
Whosoever deny the Son, the same have not the Father.
That's right.
Let that therefore abide in you, which you have heard from the beginning.
That's
That
right.
which you have heard from the beginning shall remain in you. You also shall continue in the Son and in the Father. And this is the promise that he had promised us, eternal life. These have I written unto you concerning that them that seduce you. The anointing you have received of him abide in you, and you need Not that
anyone
teach you.
that anybody will teach you anything. Remember, he said that anointing. A lot of people say they're anointed, but he talking about that ruach, and a lot of people don't have it. But that's another conversation for another day. Come on back to Ecclesiastes chapter 1. We're in verse 5.
The sun also arise, and the sun go down, and haste to his place where he arose.
Verse 6.
The wind go towards the south, and turn about unto the north. It will roll about continually, and the wind return again according to its circuits.
Mm-hmm.
All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full unto the place from whence the rivers come.
See that again? The seas and rivers don't never overflow. That's how you know these people be lying. You know what I'm talking about? When you get flooding, it's because Yahuwah wanted it to flood. All that junk a lie. He just told you the wind go where it go, and then it return back to its spot till it's time for it to do it again. Everything move how Yahuwah tell it to move. These white folk be lying, talking about this global warming. Ain't nothing warm but they nuts. Wearing them little behind draw they be wearing. All them lies they be telling. Y'all got to know that, though. Them people be lying. You know what I'm talking about? All the time. About everything. It ain't no short production of oil. I've been told you that. They told you it's a fossil fuel. It'll run out. That's a lie. Ain't nothing Yahuwah ever created will run out unless he wanted to run out. There's never a shortage of anything. It's a shortage because they're holding back the supply. You know what I'm talking about? Hold on, I missed it. Yeah, they holding back the supply. Remember, they got you thinking diamonds are valuable. They're one of the least valuable precious stones on the earth. You know what I'm talking about? And the sad part is, niggas will risk their life and do all types of stuff for them and think they extra special because you got them. And women swear up and down, I want this ring with a diamond on it, and you do. So that show you how dumb you is, because you believe something that somebody you say oppressing you had to say about something, and you willing to go spend your money on it. The people got plenty of diamonds. I done told you this here, out of all the precious stones in the text, you see diamond ain't one that's mentioned. When you look at the high priest breastplate, you see he ain't talking about no diamond on it. He was talking about gemstones. Gemstones are way more valuable than the diamond is. You know what I'm talking about? Diamonds are only valuable because somebody told you they were. You know what I'm talking about? And they told you they were because they had too many of them and they wanted to sell them. They got too many. Man, look at Yahuwah produce everything in abundance. The only reason why things stop producing is because of sin. And he'll hold it back. And he done told you that. He told you he'll make your land produce all manner of fruit. He said, go to sin and I'll dry it up, make the cankerworm eat it, make it all go away. Let's continue.
All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full unto the place from whence rivers come. Thither they return again. All things are full of labor.
All things are what?
Full of labor.
Man
cannot utter.
The eye
is not satisfied with seeing.
Nor
the ear filled with hearing.
The thing
that have been, it is that shall be. And he that which is done, that which shall be done. There is no new thing under the sun.
What y'all think that means? I'm going to tell you this is what Bruce used for reincarnation. Give him verse 10 on top of that.
Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It had been already of old time, which was before us.
Go ahead, give him verse 11.
No remembrance of former, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after.
So verses 9, 10, and 11. What you think that means? That's what a lot of brews use to say, see, we got reincarnation. See, you got a nigga walking around here talking about he King David. Another nigga walking around here talking about he Paul. Y'all ain't know nothing about that? Verses 9, 10, and 11. What y'all got? You gonna go with mom? Yeah, I mean, but I expect people to claim they're the Messiah. That's not. I expect that. They're not saying that they him reincarnated. They just saying they him. These dudes saying I'm David reincarnated. Yeah, they believe in reincarnation. You know that? Y'all ain't figured that out? What y'all think 9, 10, and 11 mean?
It sounds like similar to what he said in Isaiah 48 when he said, I declare the former things from the beginning.
It's possible. You might want to look some of them words up. You might be shocked on what you find. I'm being serious too.
Sit down, man. Sit down.
Do me a favor, Civic. I need you to go to Ecclesiastes 2. We done dealt with this passage before. I need you to pick it up at verse 12.
And I turned myself to behold wisdom and madness.
That's right.
Folly. For what can the man do that come after the king,
But that,
which had already been done?
now let's take a look at what all these things mean. First thing first, the thing that have been. Now, when you look at the thing that have been, you got what and how, but this is the thing, right? This is what you're going to see repeatedly. You're going to see Hayah. Now, y'all know what that is. What is that? That's I am. Correct? To be, to exist. So, what has he that exists has existed, is what this is telling you. The thing that have been. So, what you got is you got Ma, Ahaya, Hu, Ahaya, Ma, Asa, Hu, Asa, all the way down before you get to Kadash and Shemath, right? So the thing that have been, what this particular passage is telling you about is Yahuwah himself. Because it says the thing that have been, it is which shall be. And that which is done, that's which shall be done. So what it is telling you that he that exists has existed, and the work that he's done will be done. And there is not anything new or fresh under the sun. So, yeah, he get that on the head. So let's go ahead and run it. Give me Revelation chapter 1, verse 14.
His head and hairs white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes as a flame of fire. And his feet like unto fine brass, as they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters.
Come on.
And he had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a sharp 2-edged sword. And his countenance as the sun shine in his strength. And when I saw him, I fell at his feet as dead. And he laid his right hand upon me, saying, Fear not, I am the first and the last.
I'm the what?
The first and the last.
What else?
I am he that lived and was dead. And behold, I am alive forevermore.
Keep on going.
Amen. And have the keys of hell and of death.
And of hell and of death.
Write the things which you have seen, and the things which are, and the things which shall be hereafter. The mystery of the 7 stars which you saw in my right hand, and the 7 golden
candlesticks. Right, see what he said in verse 19. Writes the things you've seen, the things which are, and the things which will be coming afterwards. Now I want you to come to one more point. I think I skipped over it. I did. It's a little further back this way. I need you to come back over here to Revelation chapter 1. You can pick it up at verse 5.
And from Yahushua HaMashiach, the faithful witness, the first begotten of the dead,
firstborn of the dead,
and the prince of the kings of the earth,
prince of the kings of the earth,
him that loved us and washed us from our sins in his own blood.
That's right.
And that made us kings and priests unto Alahym and his father. To him esteem and dominion forever and ever.
Amen.
Behold, he come with clouds, and every eye shall see him.
That's right.
And they which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him.
I'm the Aleph,
and the Omega,
the Aleph and the top,
the beginning and the ending. Say the Lord, which is, and which was, and which is to come.
You see how that's what you got in Ecclesiastes? That's why I say you might want to look them words up. You've been shocked what you've seen because you see Yahuwah there. You know what I'm saying? When you see that in English, you'll take that and run off tackle. But when you look at it, it's telling you that Yahuwah exists, and whatever work that he gonna do, that's the work that he gonna fashion and produce. And what does that take us back to? What is in Genesis chapter 1? He made man in what? In his image, or he produced man from a what? Let's come over here, y'all, to Revelation chapter 19. You can pick it up at verse 7. Revelation 19 and 7.
Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife had made herself ready.
Ready.
And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white, for the fine linen is the righteousness of saints. And he said unto me, Right, Baruch are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. And he said unto me, These are the true sayings of our his feet to worship.
He said
unto me, see it not, I am your fellow servant and of your brethren, that are the testimony of Yahushua.
worship.
Alahym.
4
The testimony of Yahushua
is.
the Ruach of prophecy.
Now this goes back to the point where we were talking about prophets last night. What do prophets do? They tell you that which is to come. And that which is to come has been what? Let's come over here to Romans chapter 4. Romans 4 and 15. Romans 4 and 15. Because the law worked wrath, for where no law is, no transgression. You see how that worked? Remember we were talking about last night with wrath? Because what did he say was going to be on Jehoshaphat's head? Why was the wrath on Jehoshaphat's head? Because he loved criminals. He said, well, he was an aid, a help, and a support to criminals. And he loved those that hated Yahuwah. He said, therefore, wrath going to be on your head. And what did it say? While you were yet without strength, what did Hamashiach do? Died for criminals. Why do you think it makes sense that he went to prison with criminals? Get Isaiah 53 and 3 real quick, somebody. Isaiah 53 and 3. Now you understand why he was crucified with some criminals. They were representative of your crimes. And why do you think it? And that shows you another point of why he did what? Let another criminal go. And why did he set that criminal free? Not just because of Joseph. He set that criminal free because of his faith. He said, man, ain't you in the same condemnation as we is? He said, but we justly, but yet this man ain't did nothing. See, he was showing you that the mercy was going to come to him, not because of no law, but because he believed. Ain't that what he told him? He said, man, why you talking about that, man? We in the same condemnation. And what did he tell you he do? He showed grace to who? The humble, and he resists the proud. Did the other dude get the same type of deal? No, because of his pride. Now, the basis of it, of course, comes from Joseph. We're just talking about the aspect of why that man got delivered in his essence. Does that mean you can say, I'm sorry when you finna get ready to die? Absolutely not. That ain't what that means. That's what people tell you. He can save you like the thief on the cross. You still going to hell, boy. I guarantee you that. You know what I'm talking about? Because you know what the difference was? That thief believed. It might have took him being hung up on a tree, but he seen, boy. Well, that's God right there, boy. Boy, we out of pocket.
But that same example is if the nigga try to repent right before he died, I mean, he already knew what was right. That was the deep first time hearing of it, right?
I can't tell you that, but shoot, either way it go, he looked at it and said, you got to remember he in a different situation than we, because shoot, whether you heard it or not, boy, you leave here sour, boy, you out of gas. You know what I'm talking about? But for him, he acknowledged, and remember, he showed mercy on who he want to show mercy to. We'll read what he said in a minute, but go ahead and read what I call for. What it is? Isaiah 53 and 3. Let it run.
Oh, I said he was despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief.
Acquainted with grief.
And he hid, as it were, our faces from him.
That's right.
He was despised and we esteemed him not.
He was despised and we esteemed him not.
Surely he had borne our griefs and carried our sorrows.
Carried them sorrows.
Yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of Alahym and afflicted.
Smitten of Alahym and afflicted.
But he was wounded for our transgressions, bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace upon him, and with his stripes we are healed.
That's good. Drop down to verse 8 so we can get the rolling.
It said he was taken from prison and from judgment, and who shall declare his generation?
Who gonna let me say? Remember what that is? Who shall declare his what?
Generation.
Now look up generation so you can see what that means when he say that. Who shall declare his what?
His generation.
What that generation? Which one is it? Is it door or is it the other word for generation? So that means who's gonna declare his period of time? So who's gonna declare the gospel? That's what that means. See, every time you see generation, it don't mean a lineage in a line. Who gonna declare his time? Who gonna declare it? What did he begin verse 1 with? Who has believed our report? To whom is the arm of Yahuwah revealed? Well, Yahuwah ain't revealed himself to a lot of these people. Do you see what that meant when we were going back looking at Paul? So how you knew he was an apostle? Because he said the arm of Yahuwah was revealed to him. And what did he tell you to do if somebody brought you another gospel different than the one you didn't receive? Let him be what? Let him go to hell. Let him be damned. Let him be understand when we say let somebody be accursed, that means let that person be separated from God. That's an ugly deal right there. Come on with it, man. Isaiah 53:8.
It said, who shall declare his generation? For he was cut off out of the land of the living. For the transgression of my people was strict.
Now look at verse 9.
And he made his grave with the wicked.
He made his grave with who?
With the wicked.
So he made his grave with criminals.
And with the rich in his death, because he had done no violence, neither deceit in his mouth.
Now that's good right there, right? Now you see how that worked? He made his grave with criminals. Remember what we read last night? He said what? How can you love those who are criminals? And he said, while you were yet without strength, for Mashiach did what? Died for criminals. So that the wrath of Alahym, he took the wrath that you were supposed to catch on himself. And as we mentioned last night, Jehoshaphat is an example of taking on wrath that should have been on somebody else. You know what I'm talking about? That's what people don't realize. That wrath was for you. People talk all that talk, but that wrath be for you. That's why I tell you, how you going to say you love this man? Come over here to Luke 23. Luke chapter 23, verse 39. How you say you love this man and you ain't willing to suffer in the flesh and he suffered so wrath won't be on your head? That means you determine yourself to be worthy of the wrath that should have been on your head in the first place when somebody took it away. Luke 23:39.
And one of the malefactors which were hanged railed on him.
Y'all know what it is to rail on somebody, right? I mean, he was selling out, talking trash, disrespectful, mocking and deriding. That's why he get damned, because he running his mouth. Guess what he is? A mocker, a scoffer.
That word in Greek is blasphemy.
He blaspheming. What the law tell you about a blasphemer? He gonna be put to death. Guess what happened to him? He got put to death. You see the difference? Let's go. Continue.
Saying that thou be the Mashiach, save thyself.
You disrespectful bastard.
And us.
Come on. Heal yourself.
But the other rebuked them.
See what the other one did? You wrong. Continue.
Saying, do you not fear Alahym? Seeing you are in the same condemnation.
How you gonna sell out and you've been condemned just like him? You know why he did that? He ain't God. Because if he was God, he'll save me and him. That's why you going to hell, sir. Continue.
And we indeed judge.
He said we did wrong.
For we received the due reward for our deeds. But this man has done nothing.
He ain't done nothing wrong.
And he said unto Yahushua, Master, remember me when thou comest into your kingdom.
What he told him?
And Yahushua said, verily, verily, I say unto thee, today you shall be with me in paradise.
Because he humbled himself and made himself tender like we read last night. Get what he said? I heard it. I heard it. You know what I'm talking about? See, a lot of people look at that and they don't see the difference. You had a man who was in the wrath on his head for his own deeds and humbled himself before God. You know what I'm talking about? And you had somebody else who in their pride and arrogance resisted God. And that's why you get what James said. He gave grace to the humble and he resists the proud. You know what I'm talking about? Come on back over here to Romans 4. I'm in verse 15. But I'm mentioning that because he said, well, the law work wrath. You see what happened with those men? That man said, we up here justly. Remember, Mashiach taking on your sin because he loved the ungodly. The law worked wrath. The law said you got to die. Case in point. What was Mashiach being brought up on charges for? I'm talking about what the text say?
It was
Blasphemy.
For blasphemy. What does the law say is supposed to happen for blasphemy? So the law worked wrath. What he just said, you helping the ungodly, he say, so wrath gonna be upon you. Remember if they ungodly and they criminals, what's supposed to be on their head? Wrath. That's what a lot of people don't understand. The law worked wrath. What did we read last night when they went to go see Huldah the prophetess? What was they worried about? They seen the wrath, right? And when they went to Huldah, what did Huldah tell them? I'm finna kill all y'all. He said, I ain't going to do to you, Josiah, because you humbled yourself and you cleaned up my land. So you're not going to see that evil. But did he not tell her, I'm going to kill all y'all? I'm going to get you off my land and I'm going to kill y'all. Because the law worked wrath. You know what I'm talking about? And I don't think people really understand what that means. The minute Adam then went against it, you just read it, what he said in Genesis 3. What did it say was going to happen to him? The dust you came from and the dust you going back to. You break the law, wrath is on your head. Ain't no escaping that. You can't Hebrew your way out of that. If a nigga telling you that the dude told me the other day, that's what the animals were for. Y'all know what he said about them animals? Do y'all know what he said about animal sacrifices? I want you to do me two favors. I want you to go get me Psalm chapter 50. I want somebody to give me about verse 10. Now, verse 10 too high. Somebody give me about verse 4. Psalm 50 and 4, and then Jeremiah 7 and about 20 to 21 or 20. Jeremiah 7 and 21, Psalm 50 and 4. Let it go.
It said, he shall call the heavens above and the earth that he may judge his people.
You heard what he said? He'll do what?
He shall call the heavens above that they may judge his people. Gather my saints together unto me.
You see how that's talking about the resurrection of the dead, and the dead and Mashiach shall rise first, and we shall meet him in the sky and forever be with him. I'm just mentioning that because remember what the dude told me the other day? You can't justify Paul's letter with the book. No, you can't. You know what I'm talking about? I don't care how long you've been to Hebrew. I don't care how much you change your name. I don't care about the fringes you put on. I don't care about your African outfits you put on. That don't mean you know God, boy. You know what's funny, Timmy? A lot of people say, I don't like Paul's letters. You just trying to defend him. Boy, we just know the book, sir. Because if I'm telling you, if you going against them letters, that tell me you don't understand who Yahushua is, which means you don't understand the Father because you don't know the law and the prophet. That's what you're telling me. I put it to you this way. You know the biggest people who got the biggest problem with Paul, they feel like he's going against the law, right? But yet they say they sin on a regular basis. So why is you even talking about it? Let me ask y'all a question. Where anywhere in the law or in the prophets do you see Yahuwah being cool with anybody sinning about anything at any time? Where he was like, that ain't no big deal. Oh, I know y'all gonna sin. Was he ever cool with that? He was never cool with that. That man said in Amos, y'all two niggas going to the same woman to defile my name. Ain't that what he said? Remember when he said they were taking the sodomites out the land? He said, y'all know what a sodomite is by definition, right? It ain't a homosexual. That's a male temple prostitute. That means y'all were bringing booty-selling niggas in the temple of Yahuwah. Who was tricking with them? If there were doggone male temple prostitutes in the land, who was tricking with them? It wasn't no strangers tricking with them. Remember what Eli's sons were doing? They were knocking women down in the tabernacle of the congregation. Y'all, you know that is. They were taking the sacrifice, cuffing the sacrifice, and knocking women down. You know what I'm talking about? Bruce don't want to talk about none of that. Then you get around here and see, brother, we all got flaws. We all gonna slip. No, nigga, you got flaws and you gonna slip. I'm telling y'all that when somebody come at you with that, tell that nigga speak for yourself. You know what I'm talking about? Don't tell me what I can't do because you don't want to do it. Don't let nobody convince you with such foolishness like that. You mean to tell me like I told you today, if you ain't a sissy, is it hard not being a sissy? No, it ain't hard for you not to be a sissy. You don't want nobody playing with your booty anyway. But guess what? But if you a whore, you don't want to talk about that and you going to make excuses for being a whore. No, we all get weak in the flesh, brother. You that weak that you slept with 3 women this week? And then you still think you could come tell somebody about you whore? Matter of fact, give me Romans, man. Give me Romans 2 and 7 for these wicked niggas who be on that type of time, man. Give me Romans 2 and 7 for them wicked niggas. Romans 2 and 7. Shalom, Shaul, man.
To them who by patient continuance and well-doing seek for esteem. And
back me up to verse 3. I think we missed what I want.
It say, and thinkest thou, O man, that judges them which do such
Okay,
things.
give it verse 1. That's it.
Therefore thou art inexcusable.
Inexcusable.
O man.
O man.
Whosoever thou art, thou judge. For thou wherein thou judgest another,
you do the same thing.
Thou condemnest yourself.
You can do what?
You condemn yourself.
Why you think he say the bishop got to be what?
Blameless.
That way he can't be condemning himself. That's what these niggas don't understand. You can't talk against. You can talk against it, but you're gonna be condemning yourself if you do the same thing. He say you teach against adultery. Do you commit adultery? He say you talk against idols. Do you commit sacrilege? Keep on going, man.
You condemn it yourself, for you that judge do the same thing. But we are sure that judgment is of Alahym, and it is according to truth against them which commit such things.
Commit such things.
And think you this, O man, that judge them which do these things, and do the same, that you shall escape the judgment of God?
You think you're going to escape it? Boy, that's what that nigga was telling us, right? That you were going to escape that. Boy, you going to hell, boy. You going to hell. That's why I be telling y'all, man, y'all better listen to niggas and not just get caught up on it sound good. Boy, that junk go against the book. Boy, you going to hell, boy. Remember what David did, right? He did what he did. He spoke condemnation against himself. And what did Nathan tell him? That man is you. David's supposed to die. He didn't die because Yahuwah had mercy on him. And you know why Yahuwah had mercy on him? Because he had already made a covenant with him. Well, if he had made a covenant with him, boy, David was done. You know what I'm talking about? And the fact that David showed mercy, so he got a little bit of mercy. You know what I'm talking about? Well, that man spoke condemnation against himself. And he showed you what that Romans 2 was about. He said, you inexcusable, old man. Because as soon as Nathan gave him that parable, that man was doing this, he said, that man ought to die. Nathan said, that man is you. David said, oh, Lord, I'm through. You didn't even hear David resist, argue, or nothing. He was like, boy, I'm through. He said, that sin been put away. He said, but boy, I'm coming to see you, though. And what's the first thing he said about David? He said, boy, you done gave my enemies room to do what? Run their mouth. That's what these niggas don't understand. You give these people a chance to run their mouth. Don't you know these people be out here ready to speak against Yahuwah every weekend of it, every day of the week, every month of the year, every second they breathe, and you going to give them room? Is it better for you to drink some liquor so you can feel good, or is it better to put the liquor down so a wicked nigga can't open his mouth? You know what I'm talking about? That's what people don't understand. So that means you care about you. You don't care about you. You know, it's okay because God gonna forgive me. Hell no, nigga, don't do it so they can't run their mouth. The enemies of you are always looking to blaspheme. Don't give them no room. Don't give them no room. They be ready. Some of y'all family members be ready for you to say like this. They probably ready to come in here. I heard your marriage fell apart. I heard you out here smoking that stuff. You know what I'm talking about? I heard you out here hitting them hoes. I heard about you, boy. That's what they ready. They itching for it. They itching for it. You ought to know better. Some of your friends sitting back looking. Some of y'all probably, you still doing that Bible thing? That nigga waiting for you to fall. They waiting for it so they can blaspheme. You think it's about you, but they really want to say, I told you that word of God don't do nothing for nobody. I told you, boy. But you should have been, come on, man. I still got the stuff over here waiting for you, nigga. Yeah, don't give them that type of room, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. They be ready. They be ready. Every minute of every day. They sitting back waiting for the day they can open their mouth. You don't think it was some people in Saul's family waiting for the minute they can say something about David? They hated that man with a passion. Come on, man. Why you think they kept coming for the Lord? Like I said, he said, which one of you convinced me of a sin? And if not, why you don't believe me? Ain't that what he told them? They were trying to find some sin on him to say, see. Catch him up in his talk. Try to tempt you, get you to go off. Anything they can do to blaspheme. You got to be on top of your game, man. That's one thing I can tell you, right? You know one person who you know God ain't with? Somebody who preaching his word and can't control his emotions. God ain't with him. You know what I'm talking about? Knee get angry, want to fight. What he say to a bishop can't be? Can't be no brawler. You know what I'm talking about? Can't be soon to rap, quick to wrath, because we know wrath don't work what? The righteousness of God. So it can't be none of that. Word ain't in you. You ain't got no self-control. Come on, man. Where you was at? Romans 2 still? Let it roll. Verse 4, we still holding Psalms 50, Romans chapter 4, and Ecclesiastes chapter 1. Let it run.
He said, or despise you the riches of his goodness and forbearance and long suffering.
You see what that is? See, people who do that, they actually hate his mercy. Come on with it.
Not knowing that the goodness of Alahym lead to repentance.
The goodness of Alahym lead to repentance.
But after the hardness and impotent heart treasures up the thyself wrath against the days
That's right.
of wrath and revelation of righteous judgment of Alahym.
That's right.
Who will render to every man according to his deed.
Render to every man according to his what?
His deed.
That's right.
To them whom by patient continuance and well-doing seek for the esteem and honor and immortality.
Immortality.
Eternal life.
That's right.
But unto them that are contentious and
contentious,
do not obey the truth,
don't obey the word.
but obey unrighteousness, indignation and wrath.
Indignation and wrath. That same wrath that he said would be on Jehoshaphat, that should have been on them criminals. The same wrath that's supposed to be on you, because he said he ain't appointed you to wrath, did he not? Because wrath is for criminals. Wrath is not for saints, it's for criminals. When you commit sin, you are a criminal by definition in Hebrew. You are a criminal. You are an outlaw. You are a rabble rouser. You understand? You are a malefactor. You are an enemy. So when you hear people tell you, oh man, you can't stop, why? They're telling you to be a criminal. How many of y'all will let somebody tell you to go rob a bank, go sell some dope, go sell your vagina? Is any one of y'all gonna let somebody convince you to be a criminal against Mr. Charlie? Cause I know full well none of you niggas want to go to Mr. Charlie prison. You scared to go to FDOC. You know what I'm talking about? You nigga worried about is a nigga gonna rape you, do his nigga gonna stab you. This is what you worried about, but you ain't worried about burning in hell and the Lord being separated from you, looking at you like, look at this nigga here. Get me Isaiah 66:24 so you can see this man gonna hate you when he see you.
Sinners are free.
Nigga scared of Mr. Charlie prison. You ain't scared of Yahuwah prison. How you gonna let man scare you into not being a criminal versus Yahuwah telling you not to be one? Because then we just read that ungodly mean criminal, don't it? So when you a sinner, you a criminal. Niggas telling you to be a criminal. And you like, yeah, I'm always gonna be a criminal. I'm gonna always sell dope. I'm gonna always be a prostitute. I'm gonna always be a murderer. Come on, man. How you scared of a white man? He going to the same prison you going to. You might as well be free. Nigga scared of Mr. Charlie. How you scared of Mr. Charlie? Bro, I told your brother asked me this. He said, what if a white man called you a dog or a nigga? Why I care? Why I care? I understand why he said that. Understand the point that he was trying to make. He just wasn't ready for that response, and he respected it. I don't care. But you know why our people feel that way? You want his validation. I've been telling y'all that for years. Stop seeking Mr. Charlie validation. That's why they mad at the Boston coach. Why they got to do him like that? You don't even know what this nigga did. You know what I'm talking about? You know it got to be bad because they ain't telling you what he did. And they said he known it since July. They said they known whatever this man was doing, they known it for 60 days. They just put it out there, we finna suspend him. They trying to spare him. That means he was out of pocket. But you know, they don't want to see the black man be good. Number one, he's Nigerian. Number two, you don't know what these niggas type of time these niggas be on. You don't know these people. I've been told you that. Bill Cosby wouldn't rape them women. How you know what Bill Cosby would do? You don't know Bill Cosby. I ain't saying he did. I ain't saying he didn't. But is it past the realm of possibilities that he could? No. You know why? I don't know him. It'd be different if somebody say, man, Civic drug about 14 women, raped them all. That don't sound like him. That don't sound like something he do. I know him. You know what I'm talking about? When you know somebody and somebody say something about, that don't sound like him.
Especially if that person already don't profess the rule.
Even if they don't. I'm just talking about if you know somebody. I'm just talking about if you know somebody and somebody comes saying they doing something and you know them. You're like, no, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I ain't saying he did. He didn't. But nah, I don't know now. I know him, bro, a long time, boy. That don't sound like him, boy. I need to do some investigation. You know what people get messed up over what I tell you not to do? Don't voice your opinion on stories and you ain't got all the facts. That's how you look like a fool. I'm only mentioning that just using that as example. Matt Barnes jumped out the window. He said he had a double back. He said he got more information. He said, I can't co-sign what he did. I said, I can't speak on what he did. He said, I can't co-sign it though. And this is a nigga who drove to a nigga house and beat him up for messing with his wife. So you know it got to be bad if that nigga's like, oh nah, boy, I can't co-sign it. You know it got to be bad. When a nigga get out there and say, hey man, he jumped out the window. It's wrong how they did this, man. They should have did him like that. And come back in less than 24 hours and say, well, I was wrong for that. I ain't have all the info. And I got the info. And it's messy. 100 times worse than what we were told it was. I can't go along with this here. I can't go along with this here. So you don't even know what this man done did. We don't be knowing what these people be doing. You know what I'm talking about? We don't know what R. Kelly be doing. They said for years Michael Jackson was touching them children. When them facts came out, that man wasn't touching them children. I'm talking about if you dig and look at the facts of what was being said in the trial, not what you seen on TV, not what you heard people talk about in interviews. When you went and you dug in the information, that man ain't touched them churn. He might have been weird, he might have been goofy, but that man ain't touched them churn though. But they made people believe he touched them churn though, then, and people ain't had no problem believing that he touched them churn with no facts. With none whatsoever. But take a look at it for yourself. Boy, Mike ain't touched them churn. All them churn came back and said, my mama them told me to say all this stuff, it was lies. They said Mike had an extensive porno collection, like to beat his meat regularly, but he ain't like to touch no churn. I ain't joking about that. They said he had an extensive pornographic collection. Extensive. You know what I'm talking about? Volumes of tapes, not magazines. That's unfortunate. Let's continue. Romans chapter 2.
You had Isaiah 66.
Oh yeah, Isaiah 66 and 24. Yeah, we got Jeremiah 7, but we swinging to Jeremiah 7 after Psalms 50.
It says, and they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me.
Hold on, give them transgress by definition. For those who don't know.
Transgression is pashah.
Rebel, transgression.
To revolt, rebel, offend.
So everybody who is revolted against Yahuwah, their carcasses are going to be where? Continue.
Their carcasses of those that have transgressed me, for the worm shall not die, neither shall the fire be quenched.
The worm shall not die, neither shall the fire be quenched.
And they shall be an abhorring to all flesh.
Everyone that sees them will hate them. Come over here to Mark chapter 9. I got Mark 9. I'm going to read y'all something. Of course, y'all in here know it. The Lord know where it come from. Mark 9 and 39. I just want you to hear the contrast. Mark 9 and 39. But Yahushua said, forbid him not, for there is no man which shall do a miracle in my name that can lightly speak evil of me. For he that is not against us is on our part. For whosoever shall give you a cup of water to drink in my name, because you belong to a Mashiach, truly I say unto you, he shall not lose his reward. And whosoever shall offend one of little ones that believe in me, it is better for him that a millstone will hang about his neck, and he will cast into the sea. And if your hand offends you, cut it off. For it is better to enter into life maimed than to having two hands to go into hell, into the fire that shall never be quenched, where the worm die not, and the fire is not quenched. And if your foot offend you, cut it off. For it is better for you to enter into life than to have 2 feet to be cast into hell, into a fire that shall never be quenched. You see that he quoting Isaiah 66. So the Lord telling you, you're going to hell. He said, but where the worm die not, and the fire is not quenched. And if your eye offends you, pluck it out. For it is better for you to enter into the Malkuth for Alahym with one eye than to have 2 eyes to be cast into hell fire, where the worm die not and the fire is not quenched. Now, when did we read that? What was the key point? It's that Proverb 23. Y'all know what it say. If you be a man of appetite, do what? Put a knife to your throat. You know what I'm talking about? So if your feet are swift to running the mischief, you better cut that foot off. If you got the lust of your eyes, you better pluck that eye out. You know what I'm talking about? If you got around here your hand offending you, you like to play with yourself? Cut him off, meaning whatever desire that you got, whether it's your feet running the stuff you ain't got no business to do, whether it's putting your hands to stuff you ain't got no business to do. If it's the stuff your eyes is lusting after, it's better for you to take that out than for you to go to hell. That's what he's telling you. He ain't telling you, you just going to hell. He was giving you a contrast. It's better to lose to gain than to gain and lose. That's what people don't understand. It's better for you to take a loss so you can gain substance than to gain nothing and lose substance. That's what people. I told you I was talking to a goofy nigga the other day. He told me, you don't understand. See, women want quality and men want quantity. I said, you ain't get no vagina in you, did you? Couldn't have. I said, you sound like a nigga who just got some money and now women start to give you some attention. Because when you say you want quantity, that means you knocking down scallywags. Man, everything in life, you rather have quantity than a lot of nothing. You know what I'm talking about? You'd rather have something of quality. And you know what happens when you get something of quality? You got to sacrifice something. And you know what most people's problem is? They don't want to sacrifice nothing. You know what I'm talking about? That made me think, because I just listened to the song this morning. And as long as what I told you today, boy, being a man, hard deal, boy. I guarantee you, every woman in here, boy, if you had to spend 8 hours as a man, you'll never want to be a man again a day in your life. You know what I'm talking about? You'll never want to be a man again a day in your life because you couldn't handle that pressure. You thinking what you're dealing with now is a lie. You couldn't deal with it. Your brain would explode. You know what I'm talking about? You'll definitely be ready. Some of y'all definitely be ready to blow your brains out. Some of you definitely hit the liquor store. Hell, a lot of these women hitting the liquor store now and ain't no man. So just imagine if you had the pressures of a man. Now, I say that because when you got the pressures of a man, you got the pressure to serve Hamashiach and lead everybody to him. That's your duty as a man. And when I see lead everybody to him, you ain't necessarily got to preach no word, but it's your job to be a shining example of him everywhere you go. Everybody you come across. You got to lead yourself. See, most women, they say they want to lead themselves, then they get tired. I need somebody else to do it. I need a break. I told you, I ain't never heard a man in my life say he need a break. I ain't never heard it. I ain't saying it ain't never been said. I ain't never heard it. You think these brothers want to get up and go to work every day? Every day? Man ain't going to be able to take a day off till the day that he died. You hear men, they're going on vacation. You don't hear men talking about, let's plan a trip. Let's do this. Because y'all always want to play. I ain't got time to play. You know what I'm talking about? Because when you find out as a man, you find out life ain't about fun and games. I got legacies to build. I got things that got to be done. And guess what? I don't know if I got tomorrow to do it. All I know is I got today. And I got to go like today. And it's going to be the last day I'm going to be here. Because one day I ain't going to be here. And when I'm gone, you're going to be looking around crazy, lost because I ain't here. That's how people act with the Lord. They say, man, I need a break. Man, get a break when he get off. And you know what y'all want to do when he get that break? Talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. Not because it's you. Damn it, I need 15 minutes to myself for these damn children come in here talking to me. Then I got to talk to them. Then I'll come talk to you. I can't even eat. If I want to relax, it's a problem. I want to watch the game. Hell, I want to. Niggas think working out is a break. That ain't no break. I'm putting my body through trauma. That's why I don't put the world through trauma, because there's a couple people, I want to take this weight plate and slap them in the mouth with it. I can't do that. I'm going to go to jail. See, most of y'all ain't never been in no situation where you run across, should I go to jail today? I think I might have to go to jail today. I can't go to jail. My wife at home. My kids there. Even if you ain't got no children, my wife home, that ain't going to be good. Now she going to have to bond me out. Most women going to be, I ain't fooling with that nigga. He done got locked up. That's when you go ahead and you just move on with your life, because you ain't got you no old lady then. She don't want to bond you out. She want to talk trash about. Not even that. Well, what happened? You know what a lot of women mess up? You want to quick to point out what he did. One thing about it, man, a man know what he did wrong. You ain't got to point it out. You ain't got to hit a nigga with "I told you so" or this, that, then the third. That don't help. All that do is make him find you just outright contemptible. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ever had your mom and them look at you? "I told you so." Your mom used to do you like that? How you felt about it when she did? Huh? For men, it don't make you feel good. It be like, well, dang, ho, thanks for telling me the opposite. You think I don't know that? You think I didn't cycle that through my mind when it didn't go the way I planned it? You know what I'm talking about? You think I ain't know that? You think I ain't sat back and already replayed that play in my mind 15 times how I could have went differently and how I'm kicking my behind for making that error? You think I ain't did that? I don't need you to tell me that, damn it. I already know that. You know why people do that? They selfish arrogance and see, I know better than you. You ought to listen to me. That's what that is. That's somebody's arrogance. You know what I'm talking about? But one thing for certain, two things for sure. If you believe that you are smarter than the next person, you know what I'm talking about? Then go ahead and you do it then. You've always noticed that it's people who ain't never did nothing that got the most to say about people who doing something. I got home and she feel like it's an accomplishment. I pay my own rent. So what? You know what I'm talking about? Nigga, you're common. Everybody in the earth, well, at least let's say in America anyway, pay rent or mortgage. That's not an accomplishment. That's not a level of greatness. You haven't done anything of note. You've done nothing. You're not going to go down in the record books. That's not being successful. That's just being an adult. Good for you. You know what I'm saying? That's the same as saying, I keep the law. Good for you. You haven't done anything. You know what I'm saying? That's the same for a man. We don't get, I take care of my kids. I would hope so. Nigga, they're yours. Because, see, it's different, ladies, because y'all don't talk to each other like that. If a group of men would have sit around and a nigga bragging about how he pay his rent, nigga looking like this nigga's a goofy. Like, why is you telling us that, bro? Well, if you don't, nigga, you ain't gonna have nowhere to live. So why is you telling me that? I pay my rent, nigga. I would hope so, nigga, because if you don't, you can't stay with me. You don't want nobody to stay with you who don't pay their rent because you ain't gonna pay me. Come on, man. Back to Romans chapter 2. We got time. Why? 55 minutes. Romans 2, what verse we in?
Yeah, verse 6.
Romans 2 and 6. I think you was in 7.
Yep, that's about, nope, by 8.
Romans 2 and 8.
It said, but unto them that are contentious and do not obey the truth, but obey unrighteousness, indignation and wrath, tribulation and anguish upon every soul of man that doeth evil.
Every man that do evil, let tribulation and anguish be on his head.
To the Yahudim first.
To the Yahudim first.
And also the stranger.
That's right.
But esteem honor and peace to every man that worketh good.
That's right.
To the Yahudim first.
That's right.
And also the stranger.
Come on.
But there's no respect of persons.
Ain't no respect of persons with Alahym. That's good. Come over here to Psalm 50 and 4. Jeremiah James Bird. Come here, Jeremiah Bird. What's up, boy? Huh? What you got going on? Psalm 50 and 4.
It said he shall call to the heavens above and to the earth that they may judge the people. Gather my saints together unto me, those that made a covenant with me by sacrifice.
Made a covenant with him by what?
Sacrifice.
By what?
By sacrifice.
You got to make a covenant with this man by what?
Sacrifice.
Somebody get me Hebrews 9 and 14. This all going to lead back to that Genesis 1, that Ecclesiastes 1, that Ecclesiastes 2. Because guess what you need to make a covenant with Yahuwah? Guess what's got to happen? Something got to what? Come on, Hebrews 9 and 14.
How much more shall the blood of Mashiach, who through the eternal Ruach offered himself without spot to Alahym,
purge your conscience from dead works. Come on.
Serving the living Alahym.
That's right.
For this cause, he is the mediator of a New Testament.
He's the mediator of what?
A New Testament.
A mediator of what?
The New Testament.
A new covenant. What they did to bring in the first covenant. What Exodus 24 tell you what they did? Sprinkle blood on the people. Come on with it, man.
For this cause, he's the mediator of the New Testament.
That's
by
right.
means of death, for the redemption of the transgression.
By means of what?
Of the death.
By what?
By death. For the redemption of the transgressions under the first.
So
testament.
that the first testament's iniquities could be purged. Now, this was what we were talking to Tia about yesterday, right? Because she mentioned, right? How many covenants can y'all think of in the text off the top of your head that Yahuwah made? And with whom? And for what? So first covenant, who's the first person you see him making a covenant with in the text?
I don't know.
Noah.
I'll think about this game.
You know what I'm saying? First one where he say, I'm going to make a covenant with you in Genesis 9 with the rainbow. That's the first time where you read him saying, I'm going to make a covenant. What's the next time you see him making a covenant? Abraham in Genesis 15 when he told him what? I'll give him a seed. When the next time you see him making a covenant with somebody, where Abraham? With the circumcision. When the next time you see him making a covenant with somebody, with Isaac, solidifying a covenant that he made with who? Abraham. With the next person you see him making a covenant with? Jacob, solidifying the covenant that he made with who? With Isaac and with Abraham. After Jacob, who the next person he made a covenant with? The whole house of Yasharal. After that, who the next person he made a covenant with? David. And what was that covenant for? To sit upon the throne.
I was gonna say during the time of Joshua, then they made a covenant with the people that they won't kill them. Or something
But
like
that was a covenant that the people made, not that Yahuwah made.
that.
Then after David, guess what? He made a covenant with Solomon. Solidifying the covenant that he made with who? With David. And then after that, who did he make a covenant with? Yasharal again in Jeremiah 31. Say, I'll make a new one with you. After that, he ain't make no more. So what covenant of redemption are you looking at? He talking about the covenant that was made in Sinai. You know what I'm saying? And I just want that for people who don't know so you can understand contextually, scripturally, what he's talking about. Y'all already know this. We know that Matthew 1 is the covenants with who? Abraham and David. Well, guess what? The kings of Judah violated the covenant he made with David, did he not? And who was the one who broke it? It was Solomon who broke that covenant he made with David. Because what did he say was going to happen? I'm going to take the kingdom. It wasn't never supposed to be 10 kingdoms in the north and 2 to the south. It was supposed to be Judah reigning over the whole house of Yasharal from the jump street. But because Solomon did what he did, guess what? He broke that covenant, did he not? Did he not say, I would have established your throne forever? But what do you read in Jeremiah 33? He said, man, if you can make my covenant with the moon and the sun go away, then David will never have a seed to sit on my throne. You know what I'm talking about? So Solomon broke that covenant. That's why David is mentioned in that aspect, in that regard too. We just ain't never went over that part before. You know what I'm talking about? So then you turn around. Did Abraham break his covenant? No, he didn't. But Jacob did. Not Jacob as in Jacob, his grandson, but Jacob's seed broke it. You know why? Because the covenant he made with Yasharal is the same covenant he made with Abraham. Only difference was he gave Yasharal the law, statutes, and commandments with it. He didn't give Abraham that. You know what I'm talking about? Because the land was attached to what he gave Yasharal, and that's what he promised Abraham. So y'all brought sin to this covenant that I made with this man. I got to redeem you from them transgressions because I got to have wrath on y'all head. Y'all done broke my contract. You know, people in America feel like you can break contracts at any time. Yahuwah don't feel that way. His word is his word, and he expect your word to be your word. Hebrews 9, what verse you in?
At the end of 15.
Verse 15, Hebrews 9.
For this cause he is the mediator of the New Testament, that by means of death for the redemption of the transgressions under the First Testament, they which are called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance.
Those that are called might receive what?
Eternal inheritance.
You see that? They didn't have that the first go round. He said eternal inheritance. We already know what was the inheritance of those covenants that he made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Land and length of days. Go ahead.
For where a testament, there must also be necessity, or of necessity, be the death of the testator.
Somebody got to die. What is a testator? That's a what? A mediator. What did Moses seek to do? He sought to be that mediator to bring a new covenant in effect. When did he ask for himself to be blotted out? In Exodus 32, right? When did he show you a foreshadowing of a new covenant? 2 chapters later. But Moses couldn't die because he was the mediator of the first. And that goes to show why he had the veil over his face, because he just was an outline of what was to come. Being in the image and likeness of Alahym, but not being Alahym to bring forth the fullness of Alahym. Let's continue.
For testament of force after men are dead. Otherwise it is of no strength at all while the testator lives.
It ain't at no strength at all while he alive.
Whereupon neither the first was dedicated without blood. For Moses has spoken every precept to all the people according to the law.
Hold on, back up a little bit. I want you to read that one part again. Say it again from the top.
Whereupon neither the first was dedicated without blood. For when Moses has spoken every precept.
Now back it up verse before that then.
17.
Come on.
For testator of force after men are dead. Otherwise it is of no strength at all.
Notice he said there's no strength at all for a testament until men are what?
Dead.
Till men are what?
Dead.
Somebody give me Hosea chapter 14. And give me verse 9. Hosea 14 and 9. Then from Hosea 14 and 9, I see what I want. Hosea 14 and 9.
It say, who is wise, and he shall understand these things. Prudent, and he shall know them. For the ways of Yahuwah are right.
That's right.
And the just shall walk in them, but the transgressors shall fall therein.
Hold on. I might have jumped over what I needed. Let me see, make sure. Yeah, I did. That's my fault. So I need you to actually be in chapter 13.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to give me verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
Hosea, chapter 13, verse 10.
I will be thy king, wherein that they may say thee in all thy cities.
That's right.
And thy judges of whom thou saidest, give me a king and princes.
Mm-hmm.
I gave them a king in mine anger,
I gave him a king in my anger.
and took away in my wrath.
Same thing we're looking at, right? He gave you a king in your anger. Remember, right? He was angry with them during the time of Samuel and Saul, gave him Saul. Then he took him away in his wrath. But that's still a foreshadowing of Mashiach. Because in his anger, he sent you a king because he knew he was going to take him away in his wrath because he wanted to help the wicked criminals. You know what I'm talking about? And love those that hate you. You see how that works? It's all the same word. Telling you the same thing, that your Alahym is king. And that he has brought peace to reconcile you back to your God for your own criminality. Don't you realize something, man? Because just like that, I tell you, right? This society promote being a criminal on a regular basis. In every movie, in every record. You know what I'm saying? They got mad at Charleston White because he said, why is you niggas crying for King Bonner? These niggas criminals. And get what I told you, what he wasn't wrong, because I promised to you, boy, sure as heaven and earth bear witness before this day, boy, you who ain't shed tears for now one of them niggas. You think he's shedding tears for murderers? That man don't like murderers, man. That man say the love of God can't be abiding in you if you hate your neighbor. These niggas live right around the corner from each other and kill each other every day. And you think you who are like, you know what? That boy, that soldier. I'm gonna let him in my kingdom. See, that's no, man. I don't care how much you like a nigga music, man. I don't care how much you think they're a real nigga. They going to hell. They going to hell. Well, you who ain't sitting up in heaven clapping on no murderers? He ain't clapping on no whoremongers. He not clapping these people on. Thinking he finna let them in his gates? Oh my goodness. Is that John Keith Charles? That don't look like he charged now. That don't ain't charged. Dang. Hold on, y'all.
Close to them.
No, I see it because that junk ain't charging. That junk finna cut off. I know you guys. Hold on, y'all.
Real time.
Yeah, it's good. We good. Yeah. We good. We good. All right, y'all. You gotta think about that, right? That man say he rooting sinners out the land. Shalom, Brother Brennan. He say he getting them out the land. Ain't nothing abominable or that defiles is entering into his rest. I mentioned this to some of them in a clubhouse room the other day because a lot of people not aware of this. But y'all know it. How many people came out of Egypt, Doris? How many people came out of Egypt? 600,000 men, not counting women and children. Big boot. How many men got in the land out that 600,000? 2. 2 men out of 600,000. And why did only 2 men get in out of them 600,000? He said they had a different spirit in them. That's what it said. Let me show it to you. Come over here to Numbers 13. What we got? We still holding Psalm 50, Ecclesiastes 1 and 2, Romans chapter 4, Jeremiah chapter 7. I'll make sure it might not be 13 that I need.
I don't think I want to say they were written in the book.
That's right. They didn't come back with a negative. Now, he did make a promise with Hagar's son. I just noticed she said that. But he didn't make a covenant with her. But he did give her a promise that she wasn't going to be out there. And her son wasn't going to be out there. Numbers 14 and 30. We'll make it 14 and 21. Numbers 14 and 21. But truly, I live. All the earth shall be filled with the esteem of Yahuwah. Because all these men which have seen my esteem and my miracles, which I did in Mizraim and in the wilderness, have tempted me now these 10 times, and have not hearkened to my voice. Surely they shall not see the land which I swear unto their fathers, neither shall any of them that provoke me see it. But my servant Caleb, because he had another Ruach with him, and have followed me fully, him will I bring into this land wherein he went, and his seed shall possess it. Now the Amalekites and the Canaanites dwelt in the valley. Tomorrow turn you and get you into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea. You will speak unto Moses unto Aaron, saying, how long this evil congregation which murmur against me? I've heard the murmurings of the sons of Yasharal, which they murmur against me. Say unto them, I live, saith Yahuwah. As you have spoken in my ears, so will I do to you. Your carcasses shall fall in this wilderness, and all that were numbered of you, according to your whole number from 20 years old upward, which have murmured against me. Doubtless you shall not come into the land which I swear to make you dwell therein, save Caleb the son of Yephne and Yahushua the son of Nun. And why? Because they had a different spirit. They had the spirit of faith in them. They had the word of God in them. He said, well, y'all niggas not getting in here. Look at that, man. 600, that means 599,998 men and their entire households died because of their unbelief. And we done told this before. One thing, does that mean they go to hell too? Absolutely. Because he swore in his wrath they wouldn't get. He cut them off. It wasn't going to be no redemption for them. That's what that Hebrews 3 and 4 telling you about. He said, why they didn't enter in? Somebody give me Psalm 95, man. Yeah, that's an ugly one right there. I know we don't like to hear. That man cut them off. They were done. You know what that means? Reprobate, useless, discarded. I'm done. Rejected. Sons of Belial. You worthless to me. Psalm 95, man, verse 4.
It say, in his hands, the deep places of the earth, the strength of the hills, his also. The sea is his, and he made it, and his hands formed the dry land.
Drop down to verse 6. Well, you already there. Go ahead.
It said, oh, come, let us worship and bow down.
Let us worship.
And bow down and kneel before you who are our maker.
Amen. For he
is our Alahym.
We.
The people of his pasture.
And.
The sheep of his hand.
Today.
If you will hear his voice.
Harden not.
Your heart.
As in.
The provocation.
And in the day.
As in the day of the temptation in the wilderness.
When your fathers.
Tempted me.
And.
Proved me.
And saw.
My work.
40 years long.
I was grieved with this generation.
And it is.
A people that do error in their heart.
And have not known.
My ways.
And what he say? Under whom?
I swear in my wrath.
It is what?
In my wrath.
And is what?
His wrath.
They should not
enter into my rest.
Well, they going to hell, boy. You know what I'm talking? You know why they going to hell? Because anything that's not faith or sin. And who the first people going in the lake?
Unbelievable.
And guess what they was in there doing? The one thing that Yahuwah really don't like for people to do. Not just that. That murmuring and complaining. That murmuring and complaining. Well, Yahuwah don't like nobody sit around who murmur and complain. Oh, we ain't got this and we ain't got that. And why we got it? He look at you with disgust. And you wonder why most men look at women with disgust who always murmuring and complaining. Nobody want to hear that crap. While you so busy murmuring and complaining, you overlooking what you getting. See, your forefathers were murmuring and complaining and didn't realize you walked 40 years long and your shoes never got old.
That's what I was looking at. He said, he proved me and you saw my work.
You saw my word 40 years. You seen what I was doing, but all you was worrying about is what you didn't have, you ungrateful piece of garbage. That's what you is, you rotten bastard. Somebody get Deuteronomy 8 so you can hear from the Lord. That's what people get caught up at. You so worried about what you ain't got that you forgot what you got. That's why Paul say, in all things, be content.
That's right. That's
You
right.
know what I'm talking about?
That's right.
Deuteronomy 8.
It said, all the commandments which I command you this day, you shall observe to do, that you may live and multiply and go and possess the land which Yahuwah swore to your fathers.
Come on.
And thou shalt remember all the ways which Yahuwah, your Alahym, led thee these 40 years.
So when he led you, guess what? When Amalek tried to come and take you out, who was there?
That's right.
When Moab tried to come take you out, who was there?
That's right.
You forgot about that, you rotten bastard Jew. When you were crying about water in the wilderness, who brought water from the rock? Come on, man.
It said, I led you in these 40 years in the wilderness to humble you. And
To what?
To humble you.
To what?
To humble you. And to prove you. To know that what was in your heart.
Guess what that go to? Acts 14 and 22. We got to go through much tribulations to enter into the kingdom of Alahym. Because he said, I want to see what was in your heart.
Right.
And guess what I seen was in your heart? These are children in whom have no faith. You can't come in here.
Right.
Come on.
Whether you would keep the commands or not.
Whether you're going to do what I tell you or not.
He humbled thee and suffered you to hunger.
Suffered you to hunger.
And fed thee with manna.
Fed you with manna.
That you do not.
That you ain't even know where it came
Neither
from.
did your fathers know.
Your fathers ain't know nothing about no manna.
That he might make you know that man does not live by bread.
Don't live by bread alone.
But by every word that proceeded out of the mouth.
Because I've esteemed your word more than my necessary food.
Does man live?
He say, man, hunger after righteousness, and you shall be filled. He say, I'm Yahuwah, your Alahym. Open your mouth wide, I'll fill it.
That's right.
That's why that's why I told you the other day, nigga, I need a man to do something for me without asking. Closed mouth don't get fed. Because he said, open your mouth, and I'll fill it.
That's right.
He said, if you hunger after righteousness, you'll be filled. You know what I'm talking about? You around here waiting for a nigga to give you something to eat, and you gonna die. Because he said, ask, and it'll be given. He said, any of you being a father ever withheld good gifts from your children? So which one of you gonna ask me for the Ruach HaKodesh and I ain't gonna give it to you? You waiting for God to give it to you. Nigga, you better ask for it. You better ask for it. You listen to these heifers who ain't never had a husband a day in their life talking about, man, you shouldn't have to ask for nothing. You a damn fool. That's somebody who entitled. And you're gonna entitledly get nothing. And you're gonna be selling out, murmuring and complaining about a nigga because you ain't never asked for it. And guess what a lot of people be doing with Yahuwah? Mad with it, because they ain't never asked for it. Why you ain't asked for what you want? All you had to do was ask for what you wanted. He'd have gave it to you. Come on, man.
It said thy raiment wax not old.
It didn't get old.
Neither did your foot swell.
Your feet ain't even swell.
Thou shalt also consider in your heart as a man chasten his son.
So does what?
So that Yahuwah Alahym chasten thee.
See, I've been waiting. We said I was supposed to did it last night. See, that's the setup. Because see, when we get to dealing with his image, we got to talk about chastening. Because guess what's coming? Atonement. Now, when you chasten yourself, right? So we talking about chastening and being afflicted, so you can be in his likeness, in his image. Because that's how he gonna create man in his image. He just told you. He just told you. You know, he just told you, right? Ain't God good? Look at the word. Come on, man.
Therefore thou shalt keep the commandments of Yahuwah thy Alahym to walk in his ways.
Walk in his ways.
And to fear him.
Fear him.
For Yahuwah thy Alahym bringeth thee into a good land.
Good land.
A land with brooks of water.
That's good right there. That's good right there. Where we was at for that? Psalm 50. Come on back to Psalm 50. Yeah, we do it in Deuteronomy. Come here, Leah.
Six.
What you doing for nothing? Come on, Psalms 50 and what?
6.
Psalms 50 and 6.
It said, heaven shall declare his righteousness, for Alahym judge himself.
That's right.
Salah. Hear, O people, I will speak.
Hear, O people, I will speak.
Oh Yahshua, I will testify against you.
He gonna testify against you. What he gonna say?
I, Alahym, thou Alahym.
All right.
I will not reprove thee for thy sacrifice.
I will not correct you for your sacrifices,
nor thy burnt offering.
nor your burnt offerings.
Shall continue before me.
That's right. Why?
I will take not bullock out of thy house.
I ain't taking no bullock out your house.
He goats out of your fold.
No he goats out of your
For
fold.
every beast of the forest
Is mine.
The cattle upon 1,000 hills.
Is mine.
I know all the fowls of the mountains.
Are mine.
And the beasts of the field.
Are mine.
If I were hungry,
if I was hungry, I wouldn't tell you.
For the world is mine.
The world is mine.
And the fullness thereof.
And the fullness thereof. That man said, if I was hungry, I wouldn't tell you. So you thought you were giving me sacrifices so I could eat? I don't need no food, boy. Well, that's how you go ahead.
I was saying the sacrifice of Alahym is a broken heart.
But that's how the people felt at that time, because the priest got it. They thinking we having a dinner with God. So let me bring this food. He's straight with that. That man said, if I was hungry, I wouldn't tell you. You really think I would? What I look like? I'm the father. I'm the head of the house. I ain't coming to you talking feed me. See, that's why I tell you. That's why a woman ain't supposed to be teaching no word. Because that mean the man coming to her talking about I was hungry. I need you to feed me. That's not how that works. I say that this here, right, because it's deeper than women can't teach. You're dealing with a pussy nigga. You're dealing with a man who want to be led with a woman who doesn't want to stand in the gap and be the man that Yahuwah command him to be. When you see niggas going along with that, that's a man who don't want to stand up and be the leader that Yahuwah has commanded him to be. He looking to still be on the titty. He don't want to stand up and say, mama, you ain't got to worry about that no more. I got my own wife and kids. And if need be, I'll take care of you too. And if I got to take care of daddy, I'll take care of him too. Here you come, mama. Can you help me out? Nigga, you're 45 years old. What you going to your mama for? Big grown rusty nigga talking about mama help me. Mama instruct me. That's a disgrace and abomination before God. You see that all the time. I'm telling you, it's men who too scared. See, you've been taken care of by your mama so long that you scared to take the reins and be the leader that you supposed to be. Some of y'all, some men too scared to even tell their mama, sit down and chill out. I got this here. Or mama, this is what you gonna do. Some of y'all done been called men who done walk in the house, mama, this is what you gonna do. Especially if she ain't got no husband. Ain't no mama telling me what to do. Mama, this is what it is. Some dudes got offended because they seen LeBron James telling mama, sit down. She better sit down. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga, I'm taking care of everybody. I call the shots in here. I'm the leader. I'm the ruler. I don't listen to you no more. Not that I disrespect you. I run the household. I'm responsible for everybody. You move at my direction. I don't move at yours. Now, of course, if mama say, babe, I need you to come over here. I need some help with this. Sure, mama, I got to eat nothing. If I can't do it, I got somebody who can. I'm talking about leading. You know where we get that from? What did Paul say about that? Somebody get me 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 1. I'm just telling you what the book say. I ain't telling you nothing wrong. Because guess what? The Lord led his mama. You supposed to be able to lead your mama. If you can't lead your mama, you got a problem. Shoot, tell them they stupid. That's what you tell them. But I'll get it in a second and tell you what you're saying. Now, Quran just asked, what would you say to somebody with Proverbs 1 and 8? That would say the mother teaches too. We'll get to it. 1 Corinthians 9 and 1, let it run. We good in Psalms 50, by the way. After we hit this 1 Corinthians 9, we'll go to Jeremiah 7 and 20.
Am I not an apostle?
Am I not a what?
Am I not an apostle?
Uh-huh.
Am I not free?
Am I not free?
Have I not seen Yahushua Mashiach our master?
Have I not seen it?
Are not ye my work in the master?
Have I not produced you in the master?
If I be not an apostle unto others, ye doubtless I am to you. For the seal of mine apostleship are ye in the master.
That's right.
Mine answer to them that do examine me is this.
What's that?
Have we not power to eat and drink?
Do we not have power to eat and drink?
Have we not power to lead about a sister?
A sister?
A wife?
A wife?
As well as the other apostles. And the brother of the master.
Now, I'm going to tell you something, right? You know the reason why he left out mother? Because the mother should have a husband. The mother should have a husband. But if she ain't got no husband, guess what? You don't think he got power to lead about his mama? It just said he got power to lead his sister. Always remember that these women had husbands. Even when we read about Huldah the prophetess, what's the first thing it mentioned after her? Her husband. We didn't read about Deborah, but as soon as you see Deborah, the first person they mention is her husband. Because though she may have an office in God, she belongs to her husband. And just because she a prophetess don't mean she outranked her husband. See, people don't understand that. But of course, if she was a prophetess, guess what that means? She fear God. So she gonna be subject to her husband. She ain't got no problem with that. See, that's what people don't understand. They think Deborah wanted to be out here and be seen. What she told Barak to do? Well, you need to go do what God told you to do, boy. She said, I was a mother in Yasharal. Mothers nurture. Mothers love. Mothers don't lead. You know what I'm talking about? Mothers make sure her children are straight. Mothers make sure her children are fed and they got what they need. She ain't never jump on no battlefield. You ain't see Deborah try to be nowhere out in the front. You don't see that nowhere. She literally told Barak, I don't know what you waiting on, son. Son, you need to do what God told you to do. Like a real black mama would. Tighten up now. You know what you're supposed to be doing, baby. I can't help you from here. I done told you what he said now. Go do what you got to do, baby. I ain't nothing else I can do. That's the first thing she led with when she went to spit in her prophets. She said, I was a mother in Yasharal. You know what I'm talking about? And you know what mothers do. Mothers love. That's what they do. Come here, baby. Come get. You scraped your knee. Come here. Mama gonna clean. See, this generation of women, they don't want to be mothers. How you know that? Because they ain't got no love in them. They don't love their kids. They don't love their husband. They don't love themselves. All they want to do is eat crab legs, pop coochie, and drink liquor. I ain't saying every woman. I said this generation of women. It's too many of them that want to do it than those that don't. You know what I'm talking about? And unfortunately, it's going to overshadow the women that don't. Just want to feel good. Shoot, Tia was telling us yesterday, man, she said, hey, man, her auntie them told her, boy, that's that cooter cat, boy, you better put it to use. But you'll be shocked how many older women get little girls between the ages of 11 and 14 and tell them go work that monkey. You know how to get what you want. You got to use what you got to get what you need, baby.
I heard that. I ain't even shit. I know.
They getting told that. They getting told to influence a man by their sexual prowess, not by their femininity and motherhood skills and womanhood. That ain't how they told to get no dude. Yeah, shoot, it's either that way because I don't plan on staying. And then you got the men who weaker because he a coochie, so he can't be no man. So he cool with it. At Do Dirty House. He always playing Madden. You should see how them dudes in the police group get mad when the women go to talk about, why you 40 years old playing video game? I need to relax. And they don't even understand what that signal. You in your 40s coming home with the headset on. That signals to everybody else that this is a grown child. You know what I'm talking about? Because you invested. We ain't talking about, hey, yeah, man, I jump in here, play a game, man, and go to bed. Nigga, you on here till 4 o'clock in the morning. We get it in you in your 20s. You know what I'm talking about? These niggas 40. I ain't talking about when you're in your 20s. I'm talking about your 40. Y'all know it's niggas who, if you ain't getting paid to play video games, you ain't got no business playing video games that long. If you ain't getting paid. Is you on a Twitch stream? At least if you gonna play, get on Twitch and get paid for it. You know what I'm talking about? Them niggas at the house arguing with random white boys, calling them nigga because he's scoring touchdowns. You know what I'm talking about? This nigga arguing with the little white boy like this here. Yeah, near touchdown.
That's factual, man.
Bitches throughout the window.
That's how they be sounding.
Party and they hear your voice. That's the first thing they know.
I believe it.
It's like, I know you black. I can tell you black.
And to be churned.
That's what they're making it for.
Yeah, they're like,
That's what it is. I ain't gonna lie, right? I ain't gonna say that video games were for kids. Cause how? That they were expensive. You know what I'm saying? It was to influence parents to get something for children in order to dumb them down. Give them another level of entertainment of where they would be distracted. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully become that lifelong gamer. See, they give you stuff as a child, hoping that you'll stay with that for the rest of your life. It's like this here, right? You got certain people that buy certain brands because they've been buying, because they people bought them brands, and now they're a lifelong loyalist to that brand.
I think I heard like Steve Jobs ain't never let his kid use iPad or nothing like
Nothing. They don't want them to be dealing with technology. You know why? It ruins your social skills. It ruins your critical thinking skills. You know what I'm talking about? It mushes up your brain. And they know this. You know what I'm talking about? It causes you to not want to be in reality and to always go somewhere and escape reality. That's why niggas like a Clubhouse. That's why niggas like a Facebook. That's why niggas like an Instagram. That's why niggas like YouTube. Because when they can do all of these things, they can escape reality and create a reality that they want to have, and others will buy into it.
That's true. When I was painting the lady house, my daughter got mad at her mom. Said, "I hate reality." And she went in and put the little thing over her face and played the game.
Which I was telling them this here. This is why a lot of people get on drugs. This is why a lot of people
She was
drink.
like 12. She was like 12 when she said that.
I hate reality. I told you, man, what my dog daddy told her. Doggone it. Take your hands off your meat, go outside and face reality. Shoot, I'll never forget it because I was there when he said it. You know what I'm talking about?
But lost in the VHS.
He closed his eyes.
Turn off the light.
Turn off the light.
Leave reality.
And leave reality. But I say that because, like I said, right, the pressure on men is hard. See, most women live in a fantasy world. You know what I'm talking about? The reason why that comes, because they're already emotional creatures, but then what gets sold to them from their childhood? A fantasy world, a delusional world that doesn't exist. See, they don't necessarily sell that to little boys, so they have to craft it in areas for little boys to dive in and want to escape reality. I'm just telling you how they sell it to you, how you get to that point as an adult. Little girls don't start off living in a fantasy world. They're crafted and living in a fantasy world based off the propaganda and marketing that they give to little girls. You know what I'm talking about? And then they have a level of marketing and propaganda that they get to little boys. That's why it's important for a man to be in the house and say no. Like I told you before, one of the first levels of propaganda they give to little girls is telling them they're a princess and selling you a princess dynamic in movies. And then the mother wanted to get those things and you ain't no princess. You know why? Because your daddy ain't no king. Your daddy work at the plant. Your daddy's a bus driver. He ain't no king, which means you ain't no princess. You are a servant girl to a servant man. But what does that create? It creates the air of royalty. And what does royalty usually have in their mind? Entitlement. So this is how they do this. It's manipulation. You know what I'm saying? You just can't sit back and look at these women of this. They live in a society that's manipulating them. Yeah, yeah. The area say now they selling the same junk they sold the girls to the boys, and now they all messed up.
My sister had that. I remember that slogan.
Oh, that was your song? I'm a Barbie. Look at you rolling your eye. You used to be in the house like this here, dancing to it. I am a Barbie. I am a Barbie. I'm Malibu Barbie. Oh, that was you?
No, I just like Barbie.
Yeah, look what happened. They took an old funky dog backhoe, threw her out there talking about she a Barbie dog. And guess what she ended up doing? Marrying a pedophile. That's the best she could do. She's so fine, she's so bad, and she had to marry a nigga who got to check in everywhere he go. She couldn't get nothing but a pedophile. Because see, one thing that they don't tell women, you can be that independent boss chick type of woman, but you ain't going to get that same type of man because he's not going to want you. You know what I'm saying? No, I say that because you're going to always end up with a weak man who you can control. Because a man who's your equal or greater, you're going to submit to him or he's not going to put up with you. You know what I'm talking about? I don't want to put up with this. Like the nigga was talking about this the other day. I don't know where in the world that women got in their mind that men want to be challenged by women. Who told you that? So y'all just don't want a woman to challenge you. No, I don't. What makes you think, oh, she keep me on my toes. She challenged me on the regular. It don't make sense. Imagine if you came to the Lord like, you know what? Jesus, Yahushua, he need to be challenged. See, I challenge the Lord. See, I keep him on his toes. That's what a real woman supposed to do. No, you sound stupid. You see how stupid that sounds?
Right on the left-hand side. That's stupid.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want you to look at it like, because that's what you're saying. You his bride, right? So you challenging your husband? Why you messing with a nigga you got to challenge?
You should already won.
Come on, man. Nigga don't want to challenge. Nigga don't want to dodge challengers. So I don't want to be challenged. I want a real car.
Man's car. That's a kid's car.
Yeah, I mean that's a speed car. That's a young man's car. It's not no ain't no what no man. You 40 years old talking about you whipping in a muscle car. I'm looking at you funny. That's in your 20s. That's young man. Unless you in the car club. If you ain't in no car club, I'm talking about you in your. See, I ain't talking about you had one. You know what I'm saying? You bought a Dodge Challenger, you done had it for a while. I'm talking about you 40 plus and you went to the lot and said, that's what I want. Why you want that car, son? You trying to hold on to your youth, ain't it? It's gone. He trying to run with the young shooters. Trying to get that young coochie. It ain't gonna come. They ain't coming.
You see a nigga drop 30 plus trying to get a new.
What song you talking about, man? What it is, man? I'll be good in song 50. What I got you hold? Jeremiah 7:20. Huh? Fast and the Furious. They were old as hell when they made that. Oh, Barbie girl.
Yeah, they definitely got cash for some young niggas.
Come on, man. Tyrese was good, no. Good, no.
Definitely 30s.
They brought Ludacris in. Ludacris old.
Yeah.
What it is? Vin Diesel ain't young, and The Rock show ain't. Man, The Rock was in his mid-20s when he was wrestling in the 90s. He was in his 20s when he was The Rock.
Yeah, he was in his 40s when he did Fast and Furious.
Like he grown. Like he a young man.
Youngest person that played on Fast and Furious was Bow Wow.
That nigga old too.
He old now.
He was probably about 30 then.
Yeah, that nigga about 30 on top of your
Acting like he was a high school student.
Acting like you know they do that in a lot of TV shows. You know, like Saved by the Bell, all them shows, the people were good and grown. 90210 the first one, them people were good and grown. They get grown people to play teenagers. Peter Pan. Not all jokes aside, what they do is they do that for young people to lust after these adults by making you believe that they are your peer group.
Hey, that's true, because like when I was young, I was like, dang, boy, high school like this, like we look at House Party and all them niggas look grown and all that, like, dang, high school.
You right, though. Like for real.
All these niggas grown.
Make it progressive.
Make it look like
American Pie movie.
Everybody grown.
I'm like, dang, but this how high school is? Can't wait, but you know what I'm saying?
They force you to grow up too fast.
And everybody grown who playing in it.
You doing adult things.
Think about the bullies on House Party.
Nigga, that was full force. Them niggas was rappers. Them niggas was definitely grown. One of them boys just passed away. Boy, good and grown, man. I'm talking about old rusty niggas. You around here like this here, young girl like, ooh. But they also do this here. They also tell artists and actors to not mention that they married so that women can lust after them. They say they purposely tell them, don't mention you married. You know what I'm talking about? They don't want you to know they married. Because then they be like, the women can't feel like they can have you. Many people be playing a hell of a game manipulating your mind. And we be falling right for it. He ain't married to that woman. The people lying.
That's what I was tripping about.
They say they've been engaged for 7 years.
They was trying to make it seem like you were buying some styling on it. They wasn't married.
No, he wasn't married. He got a child from him. But Jason like broke it down in this aspect. She's older than him. So she got a nigga who she felt like she could control because she was older than him. You know what I'm talking about? And then what ended up happening is he developed, and hey man, he probably went to hitting hoes, but 9 times out of 10, she probably know he was hitting hoes. Yeah. He just got a little reckless within the organization because this ain't no, see, it's not no, oh, he just hitting hoes. That nigga was Dookie staining where he eat at, and that's a no-no. Now that's a no-no. That's what you don't do.
You mess around with get your bread out.
Let me tell you something, man. Most of y'all probably ain't never did it. It's a whole different deal when you dealing with a woman who older than you, because she finna try to handle you differently. Like I said, right? Niggas going crazy because they view Nia Long in this high regard. But you know what I'm talking about? When you look at her, was she a pretty lady? She's all right. Did she have the greatest body you ever seen? No, she didn't. So why was you lusting after this woman? Because you seen her half naked running down the street on Friday, and you seen her with Will Smith, and you've been at home thinking about her beating your meat since the 90s, hoping for the chance that you could be the one to serve her. She'll never talk to you because you're not going to pay her bills. You know what I'm talking about? You're not going to do nothing for her. It's a reason why this woman 51 years old and ain't nobody there. And she's supposed to be this beautiful. It's a reason why Halle Berry been married 4 or 5 times. You know what I'm saying? It's a reason why J-Lo is known in some circles as J-Ho. It's a reason for that. But the reason isn't not that these women are unattractive. The reason is you ain't never been with these women. You don't know what it's like to be with this woman. You're lusting after this woman because of physicality, but you don't know what it's like to be with her. She could be very, very difficult to deal with. You don't know. It's the reason why nobody wanted Janet Jackson. Do you realize all these beautiful celebrity women ain't nobody want? We just seen that photograph with Mary J. Blige, 50-something years old, half naked on the boat. With Taraji P. Henson, half naked on the boat. Don't nobody want you and y'all 50 years old. But you see, it's one woman who don't have them problems. Niggas like, he cheated on Beyonce. Who cares, nigga? She's Beyonce. That don't mean nothing. You can always get another Beyonce. You can't get another billionaire man. That's why Kim Kardashian looking stupid. You're not getting another man of that caliber. But you know why Kanye got in trouble? Because you wanted that woman because you were lusting after her. So you put yourself in this position to have these problems because you'd have done it. Because I wanted that booty so bad. Don't worry, Russell Wilson time coming. It never works out for a man who get with a woman because he was lusting after her. I'm not putting that on the woman. Because she ain't gonna do whatever a woman do. But when you lust after her, you're gonna compromise yourself in a multitude of areas where you can't compromise yourself at. And she's gonna pull the rug from under you, and then you're gonna blame her. But you gotta blame yourself for being lustful.
You gotta get too close to your rug. Pull it from underneath.
And that's why the word teacher don't do what? Get him Proverbs 6 and 20.
You gave her the rug.
You gave her the rug. Here you go. Proverbs 6 and 20. This is why the book tell you not to do this here.
My son, keep your father's commandments.
That's right.
Not the law of your mother.
Go ahead.
Bind them continually upon your heart. Tie them about your neck.
That's right.
When you go, it shall lead you. When you
That's
sleep,
right.
it shall keep you.
When you sleep, it'll what?
It'll keep you.
That'll raise you from the dead.
And you awake, it shall talk with you. For the commandment, a lamp, and the law.
You see that there? When you get baptized and raised, right? It'll do what? It'll keep you. And when you awake, it'll do what?
Talk with you.
Bring all things to your remembrance, what I said unto you. Come on.
For the commandment, a lamp, and the law, light, and reproofs of instruction.
It's a way of life. What's that? What's next? Go ahead.
To keep you from the evil woman.
To keep you from who?
The evil woman.
To keep you from who?
The evil woman.
The evil woman. Not a woman. A who?
The evil woman.
Evil woman. There's a difference now.
From the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman.
From the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman.
Lust not after her beauty.
Lust not after her beauty in your heart.
Neither let her take you with her eyelids.
Don't let her take what he told you. Don't lust after her beauty with your mind, boy.
For by means of a whorish woman.
That's good. It'll bring you to a piece of bread. That means you need to try that woman to make sure that she's not an evil woman. All that, you so handsome, and this, that, there, and the third, and you lusting after. The book telling you you're going to be destroyed. Don't do it. Don't do it. Jeremiah 7:20.
It said, therefore, thus said Yahuwah Alahym, behold, my anger and my fury shall be poured out upon this place, upon the man and upon the beast and upon the trees of the field, and upon the fruit of the ground. It shall burn.
It'll burn.
Thus said Yahuwah host, the Alahym of Yasharal, put your burnt offerings into your sacrifices,
and eat flesh.
For I spoke not unto your fathers.
I ain't told you that they came out of Egypt.
Concerning burnt offerings or sacrifices.
I ain't tell them nothing about that. What I told them.
But this thing I commanded them.
Obey.
My voice.
Obey.
My voice.
Okay.
And I will be your Alahym, and you shall be my peace.
He said, believe in me. I ain't said nothing to you about no sacrifice. Boy, I don't want that. Romans 4. Go ahead. I'm good. Romans 4:15. I got it. I'm going to make it 4 and 13. I got a little bit more time. For the promise that he should be the heir of the world, not to Abraham or to his seed through the law, but through the righteousness of faith. That's why I mentioned them covenants, right? Did he give him that by law, or did he promise that by faith? For they which are of the law heirs, faith is made void, and the promise made of none effect. Because the law worked wrath. For where no law is, no transgression. The law of your mother is Jerusalem. I think I mentioned that earlier, Quran. The law of your mother is Jerusalem. Verse 16. Therefore it is of faith that by grace to the end the promise might be sure to all the seed, not to that only which is of the law, but to that which is of faith of Abraham, who is father of us all. As it is written, I have made you a father of many nations, but before him whom he believed, Alahym, who quickened the dead, and called those things which be not as though they were. So he calls things which are not as if it is already there. What did we go back to Ecclesiastes 1 and see? Let's go back and see. We ain't holding nothing else here. I don't think so. Outside of Ecclesiastes 1 and 2. So what we in verse 9. The thing that has been, it which shall be, and that which is done, that which shall be done, and no new under the sun. So look at what he told you, right? The thing that have been, it shall be. So remember, that's ma, ahaya, hu, ahaya, ma, asa, hu, asa, in, kol, kadash, tahat, shemesh. What did that mean? What, how, or what kind, or how, or because of what, the like of what, or anything that is a higher, that self-exists, that comes to pass. So anything that comes to pass, he will bring it to pass, because you got a higher after that. So anything that comes to pass, he will bring it to pass. And then therefore, he will what or how long, upon for what reason, or how he will make it work or make it produce. And then he will end cold, and there's not anything or the whole of everything he will produce, or there are new under the sun, or kadash. So there's nothing new under the sun that Yahuwah has not already produced before it was even produced. What does that take us to? Hebrews 11 and 1, if you will. Hebrews 11 and 1.
Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders attained a good report.
That's
Through faith
right.
we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of Alahym, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear.
You see how that go to that Ecclesiastes 1 and 9? Read that part one more time.
Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of Alahym, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear.
That's good. Now let's come back to Ecclesiastes 1 and 10. So is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It had already been of old time, which was before us. So let's look at this here. You know, like this here, debar is the word for thing, amar for said, so we don't need that. Ra'ah for see. New is kadash. Now already have been. What is already? A long ago, a great while. Kabar. And guess what it is with already have been? What you think is the word for have been? You guessed it again. Ahaya. To be, to exist. The I am. So I am is already existed. You know what this takes us back to? In the beginning was the word, and the word with Alahym, and the word was Alahym, and Yahuwah possessed me from the beginning. Ain't that what Proverbs 8 and 22 say? Get Proverbs 8 and 22 and get that, and then Proverbs 1 and 8 for Quran. Proverbs 8 and 22.
Yahuwah possessed me in the beginning of his way.
He possessed me what?
In the beginning of his way, before his works of old.
Before his what?
His works of old.
Do y'all see how that goes with that? Because what he said, the lamb was slain from when? So that means everything had already been done. What did we read last week? He said those that he chosen, he had what? Those that conformed to his image, he did what? Predestinated. And those he predestinated, he called. And those he called, he justified. And those he justified, he esteemed. Ain't that what he said? Okay. Get me Proverbs 1 and 8 for Quran. Let's see what it says.
It say, my son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the Torah of thy mother.
Boom. So again, that's the same thing. So they'll say, well, what do you say about? He said the first thing they would have to establish is who is your mama. See, dudes are running that and say women can teach. He say, forsake not the law of your mother. But if we go into the Torah and see who was supposed to teach the Torah, it was never given to the woman to do it. We don't read that anywhere. So who is the mother? Jerusalem is the land. Now he mentioned this here, right? Yahusha fulfilling Eve being the mother of all living, because you can look at it in the aspect that Eve is symbolic of Jerusalem, right? You know what I'm talking about? And what did she have? What did it said that Adam hearkened to her voice? Well, what did she have? She had the law. You know what I'm talking about? But dudes will look at that and say, see, they can do that. But like I asked the brother the other day, can you go in the text and can you show me any woman at any time teaching anybody out the book of Yahuwah? We can't go to Miriam and say, Miriam, she was singing a song.
With that verse in Proverbs, when people go to that, because it lines up perfectly, in my opinion, with Exodus. When he said, honor your father and your mother, because you honor the instructions that they're giving you in your household. So that's how I look at that.
I mean, we didn't talk about that before that, that Yahusha fulfilled both by honoring his father and then honoring Jerusalem by ruling in her properly. But that's another conversation for another day. You know what I'm talking about? But I just want you to sit back and look at it, right? You can't say Deborah. Where did Deborah teach anybody? Deborah don't even got that many lines. She got a song she sang, and we know when you singing a song, that's prophecy. We can't say the lady who put the nail through Buddy's head, she ain't teach nobody. We can't say Esther ain't teach nobody. See, this is what a lot of brothers don't like to do because remember, we did this a few years back. Every now and then we have to recycle it. We went through every woman in this book. And you know the key component that every woman in this book had? No, I'm talking about what is the number one thing with every woman that we looked at in this book?
They show IBS in reference to the man.
That ain't what I'm going for. I'll allow it. They were all women of faith. Every last one of them. You know what I'm saying? And because they were women of faith, they possessed a certain level of wisdom and understanding that other women don't have. What it tell you in Proverbs that a woman without discretion is like what? A pig, a jewel in a pig's snout. A beautiful woman with no wisdom is as worthless as a pig dressed up. Whole bunch of nothing. Hey, little pig. Come on, Proverbs 11, man, and 22. Go ahead and give it to him. Proverbs 11 and 22.
A jewel of gold and a swine's snout, a fair woman which is without discretion.
Now give him fair and discretion by definition.
Yahweh for fair is fair, beautiful, handsome.
So a beautiful woman.
Discretion is ta'am, taste, and judgment.
So a jewel in a pig's snout is the same as a beautiful woman with no judgment. And what is judgment? That means she know right from wrong. So your beauty is worthless if you don't know the word. That's why you don't lust after a woman's beauty with your eyelids or lust after her beauty in your heart, because you want to see if she got discretion. See, a lot of people don't want to hear that. What good is it to have a beautiful, evil woman? That don't do you no good. You know what I'm saying? That don't do you no good. It's better to have you a beautiful woman with discretion than to have a beautiful woman who's a hellion. Because you know what it say about that woman in Proverbs about 29 or 30? Say adulterous woman, wipe up her mouth and say what? I've done no evil. Oh, you laughing? You ain't know about that? Go on, help out, Sibby. Show it to her, Sibby. She don't know. That nigga laughed at that.
That boy said that tickle me elbow.
Proverbs 30 and hold on. You can give me 30 and 11. Proverbs 30 and 11.
A generation curse their father and do not bless their mother.
That's
a
right,
generation
Ron.
pure in their own eyes and is not washed from their filthiness. A generation, oh, how lofty are your eyes.
Their
eyelids are lifted up.
That's right.
A generation whose teeth, swords, and their jaw teeth knives to devour the poor from off the earth and the needy from men.
The horse leech.
Have 2 daughters.
Give.
There are 3. Are never satisfied.
4. It's not
Say
enough.
not.
Let's see what those things is. The grave.
The barren womb.
The earth.
Not filled with water.
And the fire.
Say not enough.
The eye.
Mock his father.
And despise.
His mother. To obey his mother.
The ravens of the valley.
Shall pick it out.
And the young eagles.
Shall eat it.
There be 3.
Are too wonderful for
4.
me, which I know not.
That's right. Go ahead.
The way of an eagle in the air.
The way
of a serpent upon a rock.
The way of a ship.
In the midst of the sea.
The way of a man.
With a maid.
He said, I don't know nothing about why dudes be acting the way they be acting with these women. Verse 20.
Such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eat and wipe her mouth and say, I have done no wickedness.
Eat and wipe her mouth and say, well, I ain't did nothing. I've done no wickedness. I'm no criminal.
They need to show that in the courthouse.
In the courthouse.
Getting home.
He said, is it me, Lord? Thou sayest. I have done no wickedness. It is highly. Ecclesiastes 1 and 11. There is no remembrance of former, neither shall there be any remembrance that are come to those come with that shall come after. So let's look at what that means. Remembrance in this passage is zikron. Now, zikron is not the same word that you usually see for remembrance. You usually see zakar. When you got zikron, you got memorial, reminder, remembrance. This is a memorable thing, a day of a writing, a memorial, or a record. So there is no record of former. What is former? Rishon, first, primary, first, chief in degree, formerly at the first. There is no memorial of the first. And the things that are to come, neither shall there be remembrance with that shall come after. So what is that to come after? Acharon, behind, subsequent, latter, last of time, or following. What do y'all think that could mean? No remembrance of things that were first, neither shall there be any remembrance of that which will come after those that come after. And of course, it's the same. Now, when you got that shall come after, guess what you got for that shall come? You have what? A higher. So you got I am, and then you got after again. So again, there will be no memorial or record of which was first. Neither shall there be any memorial or record of Alahym with that which will come after. What could that mean? Now, we mentioned Ecclesiastes 2, right? 2 and 12, where it said that, and I turned myself to more wisdom, madness, and folly. For what can the man do that come after the king, but that which have already been done? Now, it's been some years since we isolated that particular passage. That Ecclesiastes 2 and 12. But that Ecclesiastes 1, what y'all think that means?
I think about the revelation. We said when we have the earth come down, the latter not going to be remembered, only the former.
And you would be partially correct on that. You just ain't got all of it yet. Let's take a look at that Revelation 21. And the reason why that second half of that in verse 10 is important. Oh, I'm not in Ecclesiastes 1. Verse 11 is important because he said there'll be no remembrance of things that are to come with those that come after. And I say those things to come, that's Yahuwah. So you ain't going to remember nothing that came after once Yahuwah has manifested itself. Also, you should have remembered what? There'll be no mention of the Ark of the Covenant. You won't visit those things, nor will it be remembered, nor will it come to mind. You're going to we look at all that. You get a man that no man knew. We're going to see that he said, I'm going to call my servants by what? Another name. All that gone. Guess what that takes us back to? Till heaven and earth pass, not one tittle or one blot from the law shall pass away till heaven and earth pass. Because once this man done came, you ain't remembering none of that stuff. Why would you want to remember that? You won't want to remember. I'm just showing you. These niggas say this talking about reincarnation. This really be talking about being made in the image of God. Why would you want to remember that? Yeah, come on now. Be better. You know what I'm saying? Stop. You need some help. Revelation chapter 21, verse 4. From Revelation 21 and 4, we're going to go to Isaiah 25. And Alahym shall white. I'll give you verse 3. And I heard a great voice out of Shamahim saying, behold, the tabernacle of Alahym with men. He will dwell with them. They shall be his people, and Alahym himself shall be with them. And their Alahym. Alahym shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. The former things are what? Now get me 2 Corinthians 5 and 17 on general principle.
It said, therefore, any man in Mashiach, he is a new creature.
He's a new what?
New creature.
And what happened after that?
Old things are passed away.
Old things are what?
Passed away.
Old things are what?
Passed away.
When you came out of Mizraim, what Yahushua son of Nun told you to do? Leave that stuff on the other side of the flood, because all those things are what? Passed away, and you become what? New. When it said they came into the land, what they stopped eating? The old store, that old corn, and they ate the what? The new fruit of the land. You ain't supposed to remember what happened in Egypt no more. Guess what? I'm going to take it a step further, right? You kept Passover, right? What you were keeping it for? So a remembrance of what? Guess what you ain't going to be doing in the kingdom of heaven? Ain't no Passover. What you remembering that for? That long gone. We don't remember that. Ain't no keeping no Feast of Tabernacles. But it said in Zechariah they going to keep it. That's in the Son's kingdom, boy. What you keeping tabernacles for in the eternal kingdom? What you trying to remember dwelling in the booth for? You in the booth, jackass. You already got it. When you get in the kingdom of heaven, he said we waiting to be clothed with our tabernacle from on high. Ain't it what it said? So if you in the kingdom of heaven, you already got it. What we need to keep it for? Ain't nothing to remember. We don't need no memorial blowing the trumpets. The trumpet been blown. What is we having a day of atonement for? The reconciliation is complete. It is finished. No, they don't want to hear that. Because you know why? Remember what we talked about last week? When did he make man? What he made him on the 6th day for? Get him prepared. When Mashiach come back, guess what day that represents? People think Mashiach kingdom is the 7th day. It ain't the 7th day, nigga. It's the 6th. Shoot, his father's is the 7th day.
That's it.
It's done. Now you rest. The works are complete. Boy, these boy unlearned out here. Man, if we was to go to a lot of these brews right now and tell them that Hamashiach kingdom ain't the 7th day, they're going to be ready to fight. Man, that boy don't know what he talking about. Well, jackass, when he made man then? When did he make man in his image? What the law say? On the 6th day. And when Mashiach come back, what he making conforming you into? On what? And so guess what day that is? That's still the sixth day, right? Because guess what? Is Satan still locked up or no? What did it say Satan gonna be at? Locked up, ain't it? So that means you fighting Gog and Magog, right? That ain't no rest, nigga. Now that fire forgot to come down from Shamahim and kill these wicked niggas. Boy, the books ain't even been open, you dumb bastard, you. The books ain't even been open. Cause guess what the books being opened is? That's a memorial. He said ain't no memorial. He said when all things to come, you ain't remembering nothing after. So when Yahuwah come, ain't nothing to remember. You know why there ain't nothing to remember? Because everybody who was remembered is here. I don't need to remember nobody. Everybody here. What am I remembering a nigga for? Did we forget such and such? Oh, I remember him. Yeah, no, he here. He over there. I ain't got to remember. You know why I say he ain't got to remember? I call all my servants by name. I know all my servants. But don't let these people out of you, man. Praise God. These niggas dumb. All things to remember. You got it. Ain't nothing to remember.
If you got it.
I mean, everybody that got it.
Everybody that got it ain't nothing to remember. Remember how we read early in the first John chapter 2 when it said the anointing you receive?
Yeah, no teacher.
No teacher. Ain't but we ain't in the new. Shut your stupid behind up. You ain't got it. We ain't listening to you. We ain't listening to you. Y'all see how that works? Do you see how that tied into everything we've been dealing with for the last 3-4 weeks? It's all the same word. Look at little James. Little James said, yeah. I remember that there. Look at that. Y'all didn't see. Woo. I promise you right now, man, if we were to pull up on a lot of brews, man, go to talking like this here, boy, this boy be high. Somebody got an Amber Alert? Dang, well, why everybody else ain't get it? That junk be catching nigga off guard when that junk go off. Nah, I'm talking about it. I don't care nothing about that because I may or may not hear. The one that catch it is when you're driving and you wasn't expecting it. Might startle you for a moment. Oh, what was that? What's going on?
Police behind us.
I ain't got nothing for him. Y'all see how that worked though? Come over here to Isaiah 25, man. Isaiah 25 and 6. Isaiah 25 and 6. And this mountain shall Yahuwah of hosts make unto all the people a feast of fat things, the feast of wines on the lees, of fat things full of marrow, wines on the lees well refined. Now let me ask you this here, right? You see how he said you have a feast of wine? When did Mashiach say he would drink wine with you? So is he drinking it in the kingdom of Hamashiach, or is he drinking it in his father's kingdom? Uh-oh. He ain't drinking it in his Mashiach kingdom. He said when it's new. He said new wine. When it's new. Ain't nothing new in his kingdom.
That's the same word.
Because he said he got to make it what? New heaven and new earth. That's the same heaven and earth he going to be ruling under. He going to drink that wine in his father's kingdom. That one is new. You seen him turn water to wine. He said that they said what they brought left the new later. They kept the good part back until later. He said he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all the people and the veil that is spread over all nations. He shall swallow up death and victory and will wipe away the tears from all faces, and the rebuke of his people shall he take away from all the earth, for Yahuwah has spoken it. Now go ahead and give him swallow up death and victory, Sid.
Swallow up is Bala. That is to swallow down, swallow up to engulf.
Engulf. Victory.
Nasak.
Nasak.
Eminence, perpetuity, strength, victory, everlastingness.
So we know death is Ma'ath, if my memory serves me correctly. So he's going to swallow up death and excellence and victory, engulf it down. That doesn't happen in Mashiach's kingdom. That happens in his father's kingdom. Because people will still remember death. You know how we know people will still remember death? What did Isaiah 65 tell you about that? How old would a sinner be? 100 years old. He said, but the sinner being 100 years old will be what? Somebody get it for him. Isaiah 65 and 17. Well, live out his day. Isaiah 65 and 17.
For behold, I create a new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered.
The what?
The former.
You see how they go with Ecclesiastes? The former not going to be remembered?
Right. Nor come unto mind.
Nor come to mind. Ain't that what Ecclesiastes just said? Okay.
But be ye glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing, and her people a joy.
That's right.
I will rejoice in Jerusalem and joy in my people, and the voice of weeping shall be no more.
Won't remember weeping.
No, it will be no more heard in her, nor the voice of crying.
No, won't remember crying or pain. Remember what he also said won't be remembered. They won't pick up any weapons of war, nor even remember how to do war. Come on.
It said, but there shall be no more thence an infant of days, nor an old man that has not filled his days. For the child shall die 100 years old.
But the sinner,
being 100 years old, shall be accursed.
So people still gonna die because they gonna remember death. So death hadn't been swallowed up in victory yet. Remember what he said, blessed are those who have part in the what? First resurrection, upon whom the second death don't have no power. And that's when they get cast in that lake where that man will abhor you.
Niggas who don't get changed when we come, everybody else still gonna be born from a woman.
Born from a woman. With an opportunity for one day to get themselves together. You got one day to get yourself together. Now that one day a long day for us. But it ain't for them. You know what I'm saying?
Is that the same as the woe of the woman that gives suck in those days?
Oh, no. He literally talking about when the beast slide through and get busy. It'd be better for her not to have to give no breastfeeding. She ain't going to be able to get missing.
The reason I ask is that means ain't no children going to be changed, right?
Not necessarily. I mean, children can be, but if you not, remember what it said in 1 Corinthians 7, what Paul wrote, he say, but unless your children would be unclean. If you know what I'm saying? If you on point, your child very well may be covered. But if you ain't on point, you got a problem. How do we know that? All the women and children who came out of Egypt, for everybody, every man who put the blood on the doorpost, them children were covered by the faith of their father. You know what I'm saying? That's how we know that. That's how we can justify that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They got passed over. Now, if the daddy would have been ignorant, guess what? And we know if your father out of pocket, you can die. Remember Achan. Remember Korah. The boy was out of pocket. Their kids died with him. Saul, too. Out of pocket. His children died because of him. You know what I'm talking about? But see, them conversations people don't like to have. Because that make you uncomfortable. Not the babies. Man, F them kids.
Put that in your pipe.
You smoke. You know what I mean? Not, you know what I'm saying? But that's if you evil, that's remember what he told you. The children of the wicked. Made for the sword.
That's why I was saying it ain't negative for sure.
It is what it is.
Doing right,
if you're doing right, your kids gonna be straight. You doing wrong,
they gonna take care of them.
Ain't no telling what might happen. Just gonna keep it a bean. Ain't no telling what might happen. You out of pocket, your children could be caught out of pocket. I've been telling y'all that for years though.
Ezekiel
had to kill them babies too. Why? Because the people was out of pocket. The parents were, and the children suffered. Because why? I punished to the third and fourth generation. To the children's children. So don't blame Yahuwah. Blame yourself. You know what I'm talking about? What I need? Isaiah 65.
That's right.
What the other part at? Isaiah 65. No, I don't need that. I'm talking about the part. I'm going to call him by another name. Come on over here. Isaiah 65, verse 6.
It says, behold, written before me, I will not keep silence, but I will recompense, even recompense into their bosom your iniquities and the iniquities of your fathers together, says Yahuwah, which have burned incense upon the mountains
and blasphemed
upon the hills.
That's right.
Therefore, I will measure their former work into their bosom. Thus says Yahuwah, as the new wine is found in the cluster.
As the new wine is found where?
In the cluster.
Remember we were looking at that cluster in Songs of Solomon? Mm-hmm. Come on.
Said destroyeth it for a blessing in it. so will I do for my servant's sake, that I may not destroy them.
So he
all.
say as you find new wine in the cluster and say, don't destroy it. It's a blessing in it. That's what I'm going to do. Don't destroy the Son of God. It's a blessing in him. Come on with it, man.
It said, I will bring forth the seed out of Jacob.
Not seeds of many. Seeds of one.
And out of Yehuda, and inheritor of my mountains. And mine elect shall inherit it.
Notice he say he'll bring an inheritor. Who is that inheritor? But he that became a mediator of a better covenant. And he'll cause everybody else to inherit. Go ahead.
And mine elect shall inherit it. My servant shall dwell there.
Sharon.
Shall be a fold of flocks.
The valley of Achor.
A place for the herds to lie down in for my people that have sought me.
But you.
That forsake Yahuwah.
That forget.
My Kadash mountain.
And prepare a table.
For that troop.
And furnish.
A drink offering to that number.
I will number you.
With the sword.
And you'll bow down.
To the slaughter.
Because when I called.
You did not answer.
And when I spake.
You did not hear.
And did evil.
Before my eyes.
And did choose.
Wherein I delighted not.
Well, you going to hell. Come on.
Therefore, thus said Yahuwah Alahym, behold, my servant shall eat.
His servants are what?
Shall eat.
Then you just see he'll have a feast of wine and a feast of leaves and that 25 book of Isaiah. Come on.
They shall eat, but ye shall be hungry.
My servant shall drink.
But ye shall be thirsty.
My servant shall rejoice.
But ye shall be ashamed.
Behold.
My servant shall sing for joy.
But you shall cry.
For sorrow.
And how?
For vexation.
There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Continue.
And ye shall leave your name for a curse.
You'll leave your name for what?
A curse.
Unto my who?
My chosen.
And I will what?
For Yahuwah shall slay thee.
And call his servants?
By another name. That's right.
And what did it say, Mashiach say? And I will show them my what? My new name. Because I'm calling my servants by another name. The name of Yahushua won't even be remembered.
That's right.
The name of Yahuwah won't be remembered.
That's right.
Because he's giving you another name. Only a name that his people know. See, Brew don't want to hear that. What you mean? That's what he said, you ignorant bastard. You unlearned nigga, you. He said all things new. Not a few things. All things. You ain't going to remember the name of Yahuwah. You ain't going to remember the name of Yahushua. He going to give you a new name. And ho, nigga, you don't know it. They've been blaspheming that name. I ain't finna give you a name y'all done dishonored. That man said, I got to sanctify my great name because of you. You think I want you to keep calling me by the name you done blaspheme? No, I want my servants call me by a good fresh one. Y'all done cursed my name. You done disrespected my name. And the people who've been standing on my name, I'm going to give them a name. And they ain't going to remember the old one. They only going to know me for this one here. That's what the book say. And they going to keep it forever. You'll never know it because you going to burn, you rotten bastard, you. Man, I hate these niggas. They make me sick. You know what I'm talking about? Revelation 2 and 17.
Isn't that the place to be?
That's the place to be. Revelation 2 and 17. Listen to what he say. Go ahead, man.
He that have an ear, let him hear.
Let him hear.
With the Ruach saying to the church.
What he said to him.
To him that overcome will I give to eat of the hidden manna.
To him that get victory.
And will give him a white stone, and in the stone a new name written.
Which no man know.
Saying he shall receive. He that receives.
So get what? You get a new name. I don't care what your mammy named you. I don't care what your daddy named you. Well, you get a new name. That's what he said, didn't it? All things new. You ain't coming in here talking about your name, Charles. You can come around here, you could have gave yourself every Hebrew name you want to give yourself. He ain't calling you that, nigga. You got some brews, they'll be mad with that, but I called myself Shalazar. You like this here. You ain't coming in here with that. You ain't coming in here talking about your name Kazakata. Nah, you're not coming here with that. High priest, posse pop. That's what these niggas like to do. Who made that up? Well, you made that up.
I'm Mushi.
They call me mushy. Mushy. That's what he like to do too. Get mushy. Revelation 3 and 7. That's what's wrong with it. I'm happy. I'm happy to be tappy. Yeah, that boy MIA still. That boy probably don't even serve God no more. That boy probably around here living P Valley lifestyle.
Hey, that's the only valley you see in this fiction.
I don't know if he on no drugs, but if I had to bet money, that boy P Valley. You know what I'm saying? I only say that's a heck of a thing to ask a nigga.
He professed too much. It's hard.
In his heart, but instead of heart, the mouth speak. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm trying to put my nose.
That's the only reason we saying that. Boy,
That's it. Because if you hadn't do it, you've been waiting to do it. I told you I've been locked up, niggas like this here, man. You know, he in jail, but you been thinking about booty house. Boy, ain't never crossed my mind when I was in the county, when I got sentenced, when I got to Lake Butler, when I got to Gulf Correctional, the White Color, the Jefferson. Well, you know what? That nigga over there look good. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm being funny about it, but all jokes aside, right? That only come when you have that desire, and that desire don't pop up out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? You just don't pop up one day and say, "Hey, I'm gay."
But that's why they say that. That's why they say niggas born like that. They feel like that desire be there.
No, it don't be there when you get there.
I'm just saying.
No, listen here, right?
I feel like I woke up one morning.
No, this is how it happens, right? The flesh is already perverse. Now, I would say that probably maybe 50 to 60% of men who are homosexual were touched as a child. That's what causes the desire. For those that are not touched, those thoughts in your flesh go to wondering, and then you give them too much attention. And then when you give them too much attention, you become curious. See, what he was talking about is that he was curious, and curiosity kills the cat. You know what I'm talking about?
He literally killed the cat. He didn't want to touch the cat. The cat walked by, grabbed the dog.
And that's how your flesh get caught, because it's the curiosity. It's the curiosity. Yeah, that's how some dudes get hooked beating their meat. See, you young, you don't know nothing.
Only a man would touch himself.
Only a man. You only get aroused by the touch of a man. That's why you ain't got no. You shouldn't be in the room beating your meat. You used to rough hands touching you.
I can agree, bro. You right.
Calluses running across your chest.
I gotta agree, bro. That makes sense. Like he said, something cultivate that junk, and then you give it attention.
Give it attention. That's with anything. It could be whoremongering with women. You didn't come out the womb with a desire to whoremonger. See what I'm saying? Something had to be fostered. It's the curiosity of brothers who got problems beating their meat. They don't come out the womb and say, I sure want to masturbate. It's the next thing you know, curiosity, you go to wondering, or you seen something, and you go to doing it, and you just get attached to the feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, man, I used to sell dope, man. A lot of them people ain't want to smoke no dope. They were chasing the feeling from the first rock they ever smoked. The same way a lot of girls who become hoes, well, if that first nigga beat they back in, they've been chasing that feeling ever since. And they looking for a nigga to beat they back in like Willie. But they ain't never found Long Meat Willie ever again. Ain't nobody ever did it like Willie did it.
That's unfortunate. Nah, you're right, though. Unfortunate. Why you supposed to protect your daughter?
Protect your daughter. Because ain't nobody ever did it like Willie did it. That's all she know. Willie?
She's jumping out the window looking for Willie.
Looking for Willie.
Late night searching.
Out late night searching for Willie.
That's ugly.
You know what I'm saying? That's how it happens. Gotta protect her. That's why I'm saying. You telling that little girl, go on, smooth that coochie. No, she gonna be chasing. She gonna be chasing.
That's child abuse.
You damn right it's child abuse.
That's child abuse. For real, boy.
Child neglect. You ought to go to prison.
For real. That's not right, boy.
It's a girl on Facebook. She make different videos. She be running around looking for action. That's kind of funny. She be
I
all
seen
kinds of
it. I seen it.
everywhere.
It's
In the yellow dress.
In the yellow
Yes,
dress,
bro.
yeah.
Yes, bro.
She got a salon.
I ain't seen it yet.
She made that just a joke, but
Yeah, it's
that's what it is, bro. Every video she's looking for this nigga.
But I mean, and what that is that's the imprint. See, you have the masculine imprint, if she ever had that. You have the puppy love imprint, and then you have that sexual imprint. And a lot of them, they be chasing that. A lot of women some women just hoes. Let's just get that out of there. Some women just whores. But we're not talking about the women that just whores. We talking, you got women who they've been touched physically and they chasing that sense of pleasure, and they've never been able to recreate it. And they look to recreate it with every man that they deem to be attractive or is interested in them, chasing something that they'll never catch. You know what I'm talking about? See, men get caught up in that if they got emotionally attached to a woman and then they got broken. Now they seeking that emotional attachment to every woman who they come across. And that's where you get the goofy, you know what I'm talking about, super sappy, simping type niggas with every woman he come across because he had fell in love with a woman. And then she destroyed him. And now he looking for that in every woman he come across. You know what I'm saying? And then he get hurt, and that's where you get the super red pill nigga on the internet talking about all women are dirty. That's where you get that. But come on, Revelation 3 and 7, so we get out of here.
And to the Alahym of the church of Philadelphia, right? These things say he that is Kadash, he that is true, he that have the key of David, he that opened and no man shut, and shut and no man opened.
I know your works.
Behold, I have set before you an open door,
and no man
can shut it.
For you have a little
strength
and kept my word,
and have not denied my name.
Behold,
I will make them of the synagogue of Satan,
which say
they are Jews,
and are not,
but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before your feet, and to know that I have loved you.
Don't you know he tell you that in that Isaiah 62, 65? That he'll make them people come down and bow down so you know that he loved you? You just read it. Come on.
Because you have kept the word of my patience.
I will keep you
from the hour of temptation,
which
shall come upon all the world
to try
them that dwell upon the earth.
Behold,
I come quickly. Hold that fast which you have.
Let no man
take your crown.
Let no man
take your crown.
Let no man
take your crown.
Him that overcome
will I make a pillar in the temple of my Alahym.
And
you shall go no more out.
I will write upon him
the name of my Alahym
and the name of the city
of my Alahym.
New Jerusalem.
Come down out of Shamahim
from my Alahym and
my new name.
Woo! And notice when you get his new name and the name of his Alahym. Guess when you get it? Because guess what he said? Don't nobody know the Father's name. Ain't that what he said? Never seen his shape, never heard his voice. You won't get his new name and the name of his Alahym until you get to where? Come back to Ecclesiastes 1 and 11 one more time. Ecclesiastes 1 and 11 one more time. There is no remembrance of former. Well, no remembrance of former, neither shall there be remembrance of that are to come with that shall come after. So what that means, you're not going to remember what happened before Yahuwah came, and you ain't going to remember nothing after he came. Because you're going to get a new heaven and a new earth. And let me go back to Revelation 21 because I didn't read it. I'm in 21 and 4 one more time. And Alahym shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. There shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. He said unto me, It is done. I'm the Aleph and the Tah, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of water of life freely. He that overcomes shall inherit all things, and I will be his Alahym, and he shall be my son. Notice that he said, right. I make all things what? Now you see how that tie into that Ecclesiastes and them verses? I ain't talking about no doggone reincarnation. That's talking about the actual regeneration that comes from the salvation of the resurrection of the dead and actually entering into the kingdom of heaven. Because there'll be no need to remember anything in the old earth and the old heaven, because you in the new earth and the new heaven. Why would you want to even remember that?
He said he ain't gonna remember your sins no more.
He ain't gonna remember. So why you remembering what happened beforehand? So hallelujah for Yahushua in the word. I appreciate y'all time this afternoon. Prayerfully, everybody understood all that? Clubhouse, YouTube, y'all understood? Anybody got any questions? I need to make sure you're good before we slide on out of here. Make sure you understood everything. Y'all understood all of that? Praise God. Praise God. Nope. No super chat. Hey, I bless all y'all in the house, Alahym, in the name of Yahushua. Love y'all, appreciate y'all. Who are willing? Wednesday night, and then we got service Thursday night for atonement right behind that, and then Friday night service for atonement to be at 8:30 p.m. So Thursday night service will begin at 8:30 p.m. Wednesday night service regular time. Friday night service regular time. Saturday service regular time. You who are willing, we'll keep on rolling down this road. Again, I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Continue to stand firm in his righteousness and hold fast to his word. And make sure you don't let no man take your promise. You who are willing, to the next one.